Okay.
Hey, everybody on YouTube, what is going on? And I am hanging on now. We're getting ready. We're getting closer to the start of the radio show. Christopher Peters is our guest tonight. This guy is one wild dude, man. We're going to be in for a great treat tonight. He's never told his story in a full-length interview. He's been interviewed a couple of times, once by Grant Cameron, another by Third Phase of Moon, both great people, and this is his first real radio show in regards to this major topic that we call ET contact. You guys are in for a real treat tonight. And before we bring Christopher on, let's give you guys a big shout out in the chat room. Solar Warden, good to see you. Hi, Dirty Filth, always a pleasure to have you here. Hungry Burrito, thanks for joining us. Hey, Gorgeous Renee, Michael, Larry, lovely Larry, I should say. How are you, man? Good to have you here. The gorgeous and talented Steph Dickey, welcome back. Thurston Howell III, awesome cat chaser. The Ronald Penton, everyone. The Ronald Penton is in the chat room. Nicola, how you doing, man? Hey, SJ, good to see you. Bigfoot, Howard, always a pleasure. Brett Lewis is here, everyone, which means we can officially start the show. Jim Lucier, how you doing? Andrew Fricker, good morning to you in the United Kingdom. Bees Nest, how you doing? Steam Train Mark, how is tomorrow looking in Australia? Please let us know if we are alive. We'd appreciate the update. Millennium, thank you for coming on in. Hi, Alan Young, good to see you. And Ross, always a pleasure to have you here as well. And who else do we got? I got to scroll up a second here. Okay, that's where I am. Right there. Continuing on, the gorgeous and talented Nicole Sakic is here, everyone. She will be signing autographs to the left. Make sure you give her $1 for each autograph. She only uses the finest Sharpies. And Fast Hemi, good to see you. Mike L., welcome back. Kyle Evans, good to see you here. Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, it's always a pleasure to have you here, brother. Good to have you. You haven't texted me in a while. Why not? I'm giving you shit for that. Mr. Apnea, you're awake. Good to have you. Richard Elmore, thanks for coming on in. Third Phase of Moon, how you doing, cousins, brothers? Thank you for dropping on in. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. Fapster, what is new? How's Grandma Rose? Oh, there he is. Straight off of Detox from the Hallmark Channel, Nate Foot is back. Nickin, how you doing, man? Scott, good to have you here. Sir Wolf, Virgil, how are you? Zach, good to see you. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sweet Donnie C. Project Blue Book. Blix, good to have you here. Corey Foot, always a pleasure. I hope your detox from the Hallmark Channel went well. Eugene Braxton, one of my best and biggest supporters in this world. You are awesome, Eugene. I love you. Richard Lewis, thank you so much for kicking off the Super Chat tonight. Really do appreciate that. Welcome to the show. Welcome to our chat room. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show, my friend. Thank you so much. Michael Leger, the Michael Leger is here, everyone, so make sure you say hello to him. Signing autographs alongside Nicole tonight will be UFO Garage. The team of Joe and Ben, they are out there. And if you're lucky, Joe will let you pull his beard. Jessica McCreary, you're looking beautiful tonight. Opa de Greco, thank you for coming on in. Kevin, good to have you here, my friend. Who have I missed? Oh, my Zoe Buttercup has the cutest smile. Good to see you, Zoe. Thank you for coming. Rich Hilke, good to have you here. I think I'm caught up. I really do believe I'm caught up now. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on the show. I love everybody's names. Those are awesome.
Oh yeah,
names.
they are.
There was one.
Which
what
one?
Was it? There was one guy chasing cats.
Cat Chaser, yes, Cat Chaser.
I love it, and I love the song at the end, the Buttercup song.
Yes,
you're good at that.
You remember that from The Three Amigos, one of my favorite movies ever.
I totally do. I love The Three Amigos. That's a classic. Love that.
Absolutely. Song. By the way, we should also give a shout out to Bassmaster, and Cable Guy Matt is here. You know what happens with Cable Guy Matt, Chris? When you buy a T-shirt from the SOR store at facebook.com/the SOR Vault, you get a free piece of coaxial cable autographed by Cable Guy Matt. You cannot buy these in stores.
That's amazing. I love that.
Uh-huh.
Is that a real thing?
Yes.
Really?
I'm actually holding some right now.
Awesome. I love it. That's great. That's awesome. Beautiful.
It's just the way we do it, man. Why be the same when you can be a little different?
Absolutely. Being creative and different is always a good thing for sure.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. We've got about 25 seconds before we're going to launch here. Our guest tonight, Christopher Peters. Xavier, good to have you here. Thanks for coming on in. Oh, gosh, guys, we are in for a great show tonight. Tonight is going to be a blast. Thank you to Richard. Remember, a good way to support this show is giving us a thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button, doing a little shopping at the SOR Vault, and here we go, everyone. Let's have a good one. Central British Columbia to you listening around the world. This, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show at our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on TalkStream Live, KPNL, and Revolution Radio. Now, if you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including Rocking Out to Bumblefoot, reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, and much more. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Boy, do we have a special guest for all of you tonight. Christopher Peters is the son of a Hollywood producer, Jon Peters. He is also an extraterrestrial experiencer. Christopher was raised in Malibu, California, and after completing his education at Beverly Hills High, then Goddard College in Vermont, he returned to Hollywood and took a position at Warner Brothers Records in the A&R department, signing and developing emerging talent for the label. But acting and producing were in his roots, making movies. Through all the stars and celebrity, the parties, the awards, the concerts, the bashes, all of this couldn't prepare Christopher for the ultimate encounters he started having with aliens from another world. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Christopher Peters, thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's a great honor. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem. Now, your name has been kind of quiet as you've been lurking around this field for a number of years, but it's only been recently when you reached out to Third Phase of Moon and you reached out to Grant Cameron that you wanted to become public with what was going on with you. Why did you come to that decision?
Well, gosh, my entire life I've never been into the subject matter ever, really, UFOs or paranormal or anything. I loved Star Wars as a kid, but only saw it maybe once or twice, but none of this was kind of in my world. None of this was really a part of my family at all in any way. For sure not my dad, and my mom, not at all. She's a spiritual person, but not overly. We didn't grow up religious, none of that. So I was going about my life, married many years and working in the business, the film business and TV world, and just kind of going about my life. And then, 3 years ago, how it happened was maybe a year before everything started for me. I had seen the Stephen Greer film, and I was really blown away by the movie, and there was something about the movie that really, I just was really captivated by it. And I remember showing, I think it was Sirius was the first one, and I remember showing it to my family, and they didn't get it. They were like, yeah, it's good. I don't know if it's real or whatever, but there was something really compelling, and I was kind of crestfallen when I showed them the movie, and they didn't have the same reaction. And I was like, God, why am I so totally into this? And then I remember, I think it was maybe the second movie came out, and I loved that and the same kind of reaction. And so I was so kind of blown away by his work and what he was doing in his life. I thought it would make a really amazing TV series. So I reached out to Stephen and we got in touch, and we were talking about doing a show. And And for a moment there, we were going to do something, and I contacted the networks, and they were interested, but it didn't kind of go through because I think that he really felt, at the end of the day, they wouldn't let his show on or whatever his feelings were. So that sort of left. So beyond that, there was nothing really in my life that was like this. And so a year passed, and it was a September day. I work from the house, a lot of the days when I'm not working at the studio. I spend time at the house and work, and I'm outside. And I remember we had ordered trash cans for the city, and this was about 3 years ago in September, to like around 3 years going back from now. And I remember we ordered trash cans to be delivered at the house, and I'm walking down the driveway, and it's clear blue skies, and I'm getting the trash cans, and I'm walking up the driveway, and I just casually kind of look up into the sky over the house, maybe about 100, 200 feet, and I see over the house 200 feet this object in the sky, and I'm watching it for 5 minutes, sort of as I'm walking up to the house, and I stand there, I'm looking at this object, and I'm looking at it, and it's sitting still in the sky. It's maybe 100, 200 feet in the sky. It's not a plane. It's not a drone. It's not a helicopter. There's no sound. The thing looks like a giant walnut. Just imagine the shape of a walnut and then two pieces of big metal on the front of it in an X pattern. I'm looking at this thing, and I'm seeing the sun in the back of it shining on it in silver and the front dark. And it dawns on me as I'm watching this thing for 5 minutes that it's a UFO. And I'm in my head, I'm like, oh my God, this is a UFO. And the second that I said that in my head, this thing kind of exploded in golden color. And the front of it started kind of it was doing, but it was almost like the front of it, the metal had become sort of liquid, and it was doing these kind of a hieroglyphic type of patterns on the front of it. And I was totally blown away by this. And I was, when you see something like this that you never really thought was real, and you've never had anything in your life to prepare you for a moment like that, you kind of go into a state of cognitive sort of dissonance where you sort of don't know where to put the image because your brain is scrambling to figure out what this is, and there's nothing in your reference point to sort of, identify it. And so I'm just kind of stunned in this moment. I'm watching this thing, and it went on for like 30 minutes, and I'm blown away by this thing, and it's just sitting there doing these patterns. And every time I think to myself, holy, crap, that's a UFO, it gets even more golden, it pulses and blows, bigger sort of like explosions of color. And I'm watching this thing for 30 minutes, and I'm just kind of in a stunned moment. And it slowly starts to kind of glide up to this, higher and higher. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's it. And it sort of drifts off, into the nothingness up to, high in the sky and disappears. So I'm kind of like really, I don't know what to do with myself. And I'm trying to get to the question that you asked me. I want to kind of get into that, and answer that, but I want to give a little bit of history.
Absolutely. Please do.
Yeah. So in my entire life, I was not up to that point searching YouTube for conspiracy theory videos or ghost videos or paranormal or UFO. I wasn't doing that. That's not what I was doing. I was working. I was married. I'm still married. And that was it. And so when that moment happened, I was completely blown away, and I was excited. I kind of didn't know what to do or who to call. And I remember after it kind of drifted away, after about 25, 30 minutes, I'm standing in the front of our house in the middle of the day. Cars are driving up and down the street. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to call my mom. My mom is, always been a kind of the spiritual person, not super spiritual, but like the earthiest person I know in my life, and I didn't know that meant. So I picked up the phone, I called my mom, and I remember, I'm like, Mom, you can't believe what just happened. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I saw this crash in the sky. I think it was a UFO. It was amazing. I was really excited to connect with her. And I remember that, when I told her this, there was a kind of a dead silence on the other end of the phone. And this is a woman that has been with me through drug addiction. I've been sober many years, over, many, many, many years now, highs and lows, and always kind of been my spiritual rock, my person that I went to that always could kind of show me the silver lining and stuff and just guide me through storms. And there was a dead silence on the phone. And I was kind of thrown by the silence. And she came back and she's like, I'm really worried about you. Are you taking drugs again? What's wrong with you? Are you okay? And it really, really bummed me out. It really blew me away. And I didn't tell her that as she was saying. I just kind of listened. And so I sort of understood in that moment that we were definitely on two different sort of like points of view about whatever, and something about this subject really upset her. So I kind of backed out of the conversation. I said, no, I'm good. I'm okay. It was just this really amazing thing. I'm sure it was probably something else. I sort of like downplayed it, got off the phone. And so that day I was just kind of my head was spinning, and I kind of went back to work that day. And I remember that night I went to bed and I just didn't know what to think. So the next day I woke up and I thought, you know what? I kind of had this memory of the Stephen Greer film, and I remembered in the movie they use these laser pointers and they do this sort of meditation where they see themselves in space and then see craft in space and show them down to America and the state you're in and down to your street and your house, and it's like a visualization of a calling craft. So I was like working at home that day, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm sure it's never going to happen again. I'm sure it was a one-off, but, I was kind of giddy like a kid. I was excited. So I Googled like where I could buy, laser pointer. There was a camera shop down the street. I went and I got it. I felt like I was buying drugs again because it was like this little secret little like thing I was doing. And so I got it and I put it in my drawer in the kitchen. And that night, I made dinner for everybody. Everybody's kind of settling in for the night, and I'm doing the dishes. It's around 9:30 at night, and I think to myself, the idea pops into my head: you should go outside. You should try the thing and see what happens. Fine, nothing's going to happen, but just give it a try, And I was like, kind of like getting the butterflies. So I said, F it, I'm going to do it. So I finished the dishes. I said goodnight to everybody, and I snuck back into the kitchen, grabbed the laser pointer, and walked out the kitchen door into our backyard. So I'm sitting there in the night sky and out in our backyard, little backyard, looking up at the sky, and I think, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Nothing's going to happen, but I'm going to do it. So I closed my eyes. I took a deep breath, and I saw myself in space. I looked down and I saw our world. I saw North America. I saw California. I saw our city, Los Angeles, and my street, my house, etc. And then I saw myself in my yard. I opened my eyes, I grabbed the laser pointer. Excuse me, I get a little nervous sometimes telling the story.
That's okay.
And I pointed up to the sky and I do the 4 clicks, boom, 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 whatever, 4 clicks of the laser pointer. I'm waiting, nothing. I'm just looking at the sky, nothing. And I'm waiting a little longer, and I waited about 10 minutes, there was nothing. I thought, darn, that was probably just a one-off. Maybe it wasn't what I thought it was. So I was like, okay, I'm going to probably just pack it in and go back into the house. And I started walking towards the house. And all of a sudden, I hear the sound of an owl behind me. And I turn around and I look. And we have a power line that goes, from the pole to the house. And it's maybe about 10 feet above my head, and I turn around and I see this big owl sitting on the pole, on the line that's right above my head, looking down at me. And I'm like, is that an owl? It's gigantic. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And so I turn back around, going back to the house, and I hear the owl again, and I turn back around and it's gone. And I think, okay, that's weird. So I think, you know what, F it, I'm going to try this again. So I go back into the yard. I walk by, I'm looking around the sky for the owl. I don't see the giant owl. And I go back in the yard, grab a laser pointer. I do the meditation again. This time I do it a little bit slower. I open my eyes and I think, okay, I really want this to happen. I know it's not going to happen, but let's give it one more try. So I grab the laser pointer. I point it up at the sky, and I'm like, okay, here's nothing. Like, let's go for it. So I go 1, 2, 3, and the time that I hit 4, the sky explodes with light, maybe about 100 feet above my head. Again, maybe 200-300 feet. Perfect circles of light. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, whoa! And I scream to my wife, Danny, get your butt out here. She runs outside. She's like, what? Are you okay? What? I'm like, look, look. And she looks up, and the bam, bam, another big explosion of light. She's like, oh my God, I don't know what that is. It's scaring me. I'm running into the house. So she runs into the house, and I'm just like staring at this. Another like 10 big flashes, and then they're gone. And I'm like, oh my God, wow, it happened again. I'm like, that's amazing. That's amazing. I was just like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And I was so excited. I ran into the house, and I'm like, Danny, wasn't that amazing? And it was just dead silence from her. She just did not want to talk about it. She was totally freaked out. And I got it. But I was just, completely like excited by this. And I was just really I couldn't believe it. I was like, did that really happen? It did. So that, we settled in for the night. We didn't talk about it anymore. She didn't want to talk about it. And I went to bed that night, and my head again was spinning. And I'm like, what is going on in my life now? What is happening? And so to basically kind of in a nutshell, because so much has happened and is now, nothing has stopped. And not only has it not stopped, but and I'll tell you in detail, but it's from that day in September to now and ongoing, it's been 24/7. Like they took me into a cosmic school and said, we're going to cram 100 years of experience and physicality and learning into you in the next 3 years. I didn't know it then, but I know it now. And so what happened is after that night, every single night from that day on, for a good 3 weeks, they were coming over the house, all kinds of different crafts, flashes of light. I was doing the laser thing, orbs, hundreds of orbs flying everywhere that I would not see with my eyes, but I would see with the infrared camera. I bought a Bushnell infrared camera. I'd see the craft with my eyes. And then at one point into 3 weeks, one night how did it go? So in that first 3 weeks, it was craft every night and flashes of light. And then I started noticing military jets, and this was a big part of it. And it is so much to tell you, it's hard to condense it all, but I started noticing military jets every single night from dusk till dawn, every 5 minutes, flying over our area, coming from the ocean, going north. But these were different kinds of jets. They were silent, and they would also stop in the middle of the sky, and there was no sound to them. And then some of these military jets would fly over silent, stop in the sky, and then basically descend behind. We live in an area where there's across the street, our neighbor, behind their house is a city wash. So these jets would fly. Go ahead.
Let me ask you, how did you know they were military jets, considering the craft that we know of outside of drones all make sound? Even the stealth ones make sound.
How did I know the jets were military?
Yes.
Well, and I mean, I assumed that they were military one night. This is what started that thought, was because they were these big jets that I had never seen before that made no sound and stopped in midair and slowly hovered down into the city wash, and then slowly hovered, like about 2 or 3 minutes later, would slowly ascend from the city wash, like silently up in the air, and then they would start to fly away. And as they would get, let's say, maybe a couple blocks away, then you would hear the sound of a jet behind you, hundreds of yards. But really, why it started was one night in that 3-week beginning period, I see this big plume of smoke, like when helicopters are landing in, like, you see footage of Vietnam and they're landing in rice fields and they throw us. So one night I'm outside with seeing our UFO craft flying around in over my house, and I see these jets. They're coming in every night, every 5 minutes, dusk till dawn, doing the same thing. Then this one night I see this smoke plume. Before I see a jet, I see in the city wash behind our neighbor's house, which is like 20 feet behind his house, I see this giant plume of smoke, this thing drop from the sky, giant plume of smoke, and then I see this jet landing, flying over that neighbor's house, stopping in midair, no sound, and descending down, and then ascending up into the air with these other kinds of like craft that look like different kinds of planes I had never seen before. And then I started to kind of get the idea that this was not a commercial thing and it had to be something military. That's where it started. And then from that point, what happened was in that first 3 weeks, maybe a week later, I'm outside in the front of our house and I'm watching the craft, the good guy craft, fly everywhere around, and I see this thing fly over the house that is this black. I thought it was a UFO. I had never seen a helicopter like this. It was dead silent, and I run to the middle of the street, and it's this black helicopter that comes in that looks almost invisible. It's so black. There's no sound, and I'm standing in the middle of the street, and this thing is hovering right above the street light, about 30 feet in front of me, above me, like 30 feet in front of me, maybe 50 feet in the air above me. There's no one else in the street. I'm standing there. The door slides open on the thing, and these two, I'm assuming Army people, I don't know, whoever, are looking at me. There's like all this light stuff. It totally freaked me out. But I'm digressing with the military thing because I still don't know 100% all about that. So let me get back to, but this was all happening at the same time. Okay. So that first day in September and every night since then, in that first 3 weeks, we're having craft, all kinds of UFO types craft flying over the house. I'm filming hundreds of orbs flying with the infrared camera. I'm still not seeing all this with my eyes, etc. But I'm just getting bombarded with an ocean of this like contact and all this other weird like military stuff. So about 4 or 5 weeks into it, I wake up one morning and I have 2 scoop marks out of each shin. And I have dots that look like somebody took a needle, when you get like a shot at the doctor. I have maybe 100 dots of circles within circles within circles on my left ankle. And I'm like, where did that come from? Like what? And I have bruises on my body and different things. And I'm like, what's going on? So that night, I go out that night, and I'm standing in front of the house. I'm seeing all different kinds of craft flying over. I'm filming on my infrared camera the orbs. My entire life, okay, I've seen the night sky just as we all have, which are stars millions of miles away, and I see, the moon 100, whatever, a million, whatever it is, thousands of miles away, just like everybody else. The night sky, I see it the same way. On this night, this is about 4 weeks in, I look up at the night sky. I'm standing in my driveway. Nobody's out there. It's nighttime. I've got my Bushnell infrared camera. I'm filming the orbs. I'm filming the craft. I look up at the sky, and all of a sudden, the stars in the sky look 10 feet over my head. Literally, 10 feet, 100 feet. They're moving. There are stationary ones. They're all in these triangle shapes. There's long lines of electricity connecting each star. They look 20 feet over my head, 50 feet over my head, 100 feet over my head. Some of them are moving.
Chris,
some of them are.
I'm going to get you to hold on. We're going to take it right up from there because we do got to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Hollywood movie producer, director, Christopher Peters, his AT experience coming up on Spaced Out Radio next. All right, I'm clear.
Are we back?
The audience can hear us, okay? So we're still hot to mic here during the breaks.
Okay.
Yeah, dude,
Hi,
this is friggin' incredible.
Thanks for listening. It goes way beyond this, dude. It goes way, way, way beyond. And where you hear it, it's going to go. I don't know if you're going to believe me, but it's real.
It's going to be awesome. Going to be
Thanks.
awesome.
Fun to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. We got a few more people in the chat room right now. And let's see here. Donnie Rowell, good to have you here. Rowell, like Roswell without the S. I remember that, see? And who else we got? Mike Rotunda, you haven't been on live in a long time. Good to have you here. Well, there she is, everyone. Alaska's greatest athlete, the gorgeous and talented Emily Bigelow is back. Yeah, she was out bench pressing 300-pound wolves today, just for fun. Chopped down a couple of trees with a hatchet instead of an axe. Yes, gorgeous Kira, good to have you here. Thanks for coming on in. Oh, if you miss the first half hour, you guys got to go back and listen to it. Honestly, it's a treat. It's an absolute treat right now. Right. Hey, Trust, how are you? Welcome. You having fun yet, Chris?
I'm having a wonderful time. I love it.
Me
I'm
too,
just
man.
Freezing my balls off in my garage.
Uh-huh.
It's cold in here.
Well, come to my house. Let's see how cold you get.
Oh, I'm sure it's much colder up there. Is it just icy?
Well, let's do a temperature check right now. Let's do a temperature check here. Right now, it's 29 degrees Fahrenheit and a balmy -2 degrees Celsius. That's T-shirt weather.
Wow. Yikes. That's cold.
Oh, no, that's nothing yet. That's nothing yet. We're just warming up here. Colding up, I should say.
How cold does it get, like, at its worst?
The worst that I have been in since I moved up here from the Vancouver area, last year got to -38 Celsius.
Wow, that's cold.
So that is about it's about minus 30 Fahrenheit. That one hurts.
Yeah, that'll freeze your balls off.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, those ones suck. Those ones suck.
Do you bring like a snowsuit, or how do you go outside? You never go outside.
Well, when you go outside, you make it very quick.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. The weather is up here because it's much drier.
Yeah.
You're good until about I normally start to get really cold after about -17 Celsius. So that's when at -20 it hurts. It hurts. That's why I keep
your pipes freeze. I bet all your water freezes.
Got to shut down the pipes at -50. Like when you get into that like -40 plus. Yeah. I mean, they don't cancel school here until it's like -36 degrees because the buses can't run at -36.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
So walking my son to the bus stop in like -30 degrees, that sucks.
Yikes.
Those are the mornings where he's going to take his time.
You're going to earn your father's stripes on those mornings.
Yes, completely.
Oh my God. What's his name?
Colby.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
You're a lucky person.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Hey, Mary Bone. She's a vegetarian, everyone. Mary Bone. Anyways, had to get that in there. We've got about 1 minute. 1 minute. And big thank you to Richard Lewis, Alien Girl, for the super chats. A great way to support this show. Great way to support what we do is hit that thumbs up. If you're new to our show, and hey, Polar Eclipse, how you doing? If you're new to our show, make sure you hit that thumbs up. We are striving for 15,000 subscribers by May 24th, my birthday. May 24th, my birthday. I want 15,000 subscribers. That's the goal here on this channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. We really would appreciate it. Christopher Peters is our guest tonight. We'll bring him back. We're going to go back live in about 20 seconds. All right. 10 seconds. 5. Here we go. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for tuning us in live. We really do appreciate it. I want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on with a real-life story. Christopher Peters, Hollywood elite, ET experiencer. Christopher, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Let's continue with your story here.
Absolutely. And again, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's wonderful it's such a gift to be able to connect with you guys and get the story out and really tell people this journey, because it's about us all, about all of us at the end of the day. This is what this is all about. So where I was, it was 3 weeks in, craft every night, and now, having these military planes fly over that have no sound, that stop in midair and hover behind, and smoke plumes being dropped, and craft, military planes dropping down in the back of a city wash in a residential neighborhood, and then hovering back, ascending in the sky with no sound, and all of this crazy stuff. And then about 4 weeks into it, so what I was saying is it was just this 24/7 thing. And then around 4 weeks into it, I wake up one morning and I've got 2 scoops of literally little chunks out of each shin. And then on one of my ankles, I have 1,000 little needle pricks that look like circles within circles within circles. And I'm like, where did that come from? And so that night, and what I was saying before is my whole life I've seen the night sky like we all have. Stars 1,000 miles away, nothing special. I mean, the night sky is beautiful, but nothing different than that. So on that night, I go out, in front of my house in my driveway, and that's kind of where I like to see everybody. And that night, I'm filming orbs with our infrared camera, and I'm seeing craft. But on that night, I casually look up at the night sky, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing stars in the sky 20 feet over my head, 50 feet over my head, 100 feet. Literally, with my eyes, something had changed. It wasn't a one-off. It was constant. And so from that moment, I'm staring at the sky, and I'm going, what happened to my eyes? I'm looking at the night sky, and it's almost as if everything had become miniaturized in a way. Like, I don't know how to describe it. The planes look like little toys flying in the sky. The stars were right above my head. I literally felt like I could reach out and touch them if I stood on my roof. So I did that. I reached out to the night sky. And by the way, so I'm seeing these stars that look 100 feet over my head, 20 feet, 50 feet, etc. I'm seeing them all in these triangle patterns with long lines of electricity connecting each star. I'm seeing some stars in the night sky moving on their own over my house. So I reach out into the night sky because I feel like I could almost touch them. I'm reaching out up to these stars in the sky that look 20, 30 feet over my head, and all of a sudden, they start to descend down to touch my hand.
No way.
Yes. They start to descend down from the sky that look like our stars in our sky. 3 of them start to descend down from the sky, and they come probably within feet and slowly descending down. And one thing that I noticed over time is, and I'll tell you, I mean, it's so much to tell you, but the orbs and the stars in the sky and a lot of the different beings, and this is later on, all kind of move in the same way. They slowly moved down towards my hand, very slowly. And then as they got close, I probably looked to my eyes within feet, slowly descended back up into the sky. But again, 20, 30, 40 feet. So I'm blown away. I am what is happening to me? Why am I seeing the sky like this? What happened to me? What? So I was totally beside myself. I didn't know what to think. So that was like, 4 weeks into it. And then it was like that, for another couple more weeks, more orbs, more of these moments where I'm reaching up to the sky and I'm seeing these stars descend down. I'm taking video and pictures of what look like stars in our backyard below our power lines, just above our orange trees, sitting in the middle of our yard, hovering, that look like stars. And I remember the night that I saw that, I don't know, I think it was like a Sunday night. I'm in our back bedroom and I'm looking out the window and I'm like, holy crap, that's a star sitting 15 feet above our grass. What's that? And I'm like, that can't be, so there was all of this amazing stuff going on. And basically, so it was wall to wall for months, like that first year, and every maybe week and a half, I would wake up with a new pattern, a new bruise on my body, a new this, a new that, and then it was probably and so again, craft over our house every night, orbs everywhere. Then I'm filming. I'm not seeing with my eyes. So I'm trying to condense it all because there's so much that happened. So let's say 7 months into it, one night I'm in our bedroom and I'm looking out our bedroom window that looks in our backyard, and I'm, where I saw the star sitting above our grass. And this is every night. Okay. This is not a one-off. This is every night they're there. Every night the stars are descending down, more or less, moving in the sky, 10 feet over my head. It's not changing. It's now, this is my new normal. So they were repeating a physical thing with me over and over again, and then every 3 weeks they would introduce another physical thing, a new thing, and then that would be over and over again, and I would have a certain set of patterns and bruises and scoops on my body for 3 weeks, and then a couple of weeks later there would be a new set of patterns and a new set of bruises. And so this went on for 7 months, and the same thing with craft, and the same thing with orbs, and the same thing with these military planes. And then I started seeing in the sky, connected to these military planes, what I call these sensors. And I realized that they're the sensor that I realized later, because they told me that these are, and I'll get into that, but these are sensors that the military has put there that are looking for them. And I filmed them. I have many videos of this. So these sensors fly with these military jets, but also on their own throughout the night sky every night. And so what you do is every night you see from dusk till dawn, every 5 minutes, these big jets fly over our area. They don't make any sound. As they pass over and go maybe a couple blocks away, that's when you start to hear the jet sound from behind you, maybe a half a mile. And then as the jet's a half a mile away, the sound comes over your head where there's no plane, and then they're gone. And then you start to see these sensors fly over. They fly over in pairs, one at a time, and then pairs, and then three. And they're usually a couple hundred yards separated. So the sensors look like metal planks, and they have a red Christmas tree-shaped sensor on it. So imagine a metal plank, no wings, no engine, no exhaust, no nothing, floating in the air, gliding over your area, your neighborhood, maybe 100, 200 feet in the air, within the shape of a Christmas tree, a sensor. I call them sensors because that's what they look like. So a red sensor and then a yellow sensor. And so you see one will fly over, and this is all night, every night, last 3 years, 24/7, dusk till dawn. You see one come from the ocean going north over our area, towards like Palmdale, going north towards, like that area. And then and this is every night on the hour, at a certain hour, at a specific time, you'll see that first one come over, and then you see the pair. Maybe an hour later, you see a pair of sensors, 100, maybe 150 yards apart, flying in tandem, same kind of thing. And then maybe a half an hour, 40 minutes later, you'll see three of them, and they're usually always followed by these military jets that are either. So
Chris, I want to ask you a quick question there. Have you filmed any of this?
Oh, yeah, I've got hundreds of videos of them. Hundreds. This is not me making stories up. This is hundreds of videos, all of it. The jets hovering in the air, all of it. This is all real. This is all real.
Are you planning on releasing those videos?
I have them. There's tons of them up. I have over 200 videos on YouTube. But let me go forward because there's a lot more to tell. But yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that I was a guy, even though I was in the film business, I never owned a camera. I didn't even own an iPhone. I had a flip phone. I was not a tech guy, nor did I give a crap. But this experience, I had to buy a camera. So it's not like I had like the best cameras in the world and knew how to do stuff. So I was like finding my way and getting better as I got. But yeah, so that first year, 24/7 craft, orbs, marks on the body, and those marks would usually fade and go away after a couple days, and they were gone. So about 9 months into it, maybe a year into it, I'm in our bedroom one night, and I'm looking out in our garden, out the window into the garden. And here we are with another physical change. The night, maybe a couple days before, I had woken up, and this is about a year into it. Let's say I'm getting my dates wrong, but about that year tip. I wake up in the morning, and I'm a guy who's never had a surgery in my entire life, ever, not one. I have no scars on my body. I have nothing. I wake up that morning, and I go into the bathroom to brush my teeth, and there is a scar with suture marks going from my neck all the way down my chest in the middle between my pecs to my belly button, with suture marks all the way down, still there. And I'm like, what is that? And then I look to the left, and on my left pectoral muscle are two triangles, one in scars, one big triangle, and at the tip of the triangle is like a dash at the tip, and then a smaller triangle and scar, same thing with the dash at the tip. And then I look down below that pec, same pattern below in scars, and then on my gut next to the scar going from my neck to my belly button is two parallel lines in scar tissue with boxes in each side of the scar tissue, and then a triangle at the tip, at the bottom of those parallel lines, with the tip of the triangle touching the bottom line of the parallel lines where the boxes are. And I'm like, wow, man, wow. Like, what? I wasn't in pain. It didn't hurt. It looked as if somebody took either like a laser or some kind of thing that made a pigmentation in the skin that could do design in the skin, but that was a scar, but was so faint, not faint, you can see it clearly, but that it didn't disrupt the skin in a way, and I don't know, but it's there. It's still there today. So that happened, and then that night or a couple days later, I'm in our bedroom. I'm looking out our window. It's nighttime, and I'm with my little kitty Ween, and we're sitting there. And up to that point, I was not seeing orbs or beams or anything with my eyes. I was filming orbs with the infrared camera, hundreds around me, hundreds every night. Flying. I brought my friend Joe over, who taught the Bible as literature at Harvard, and he's like not a believer. He's in his 80s. He's like totally, but a great dude. I brought him over. I'm like, Joe, check this out, and I give him the infrared camera. He's like, what in God's name is that? And he's seen hundreds of orbs flying everywhere, and he's like, it freaked him out. So that night, I'm in our bedroom, and I'm looking out our window, and all of a sudden, I went from seeing the garden and the nighttime and the night, just normal air. I'm seeing hundreds of black streaks flying everywhere with my eyes, flying everywhere like an ocean, like fish, like millions of fish swimming through the ocean. But just imagine air, nighttime, black streaks flying everywhere. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at, but I don't know what that is. And it's not going away. And I'm seeing it. And so that next day, couple days later, I go back to the bedroom that night. Now I'm looking outside the window. I'm not seeing black streaks, but I'm seeing hundreds of orbs flying everywhere with my eyes. Not the infrared camera with my eyes. I'm seeing black orbs. I'm seeing gray. I'm seeing these white orbs. I'm in a dark room looking out at our garden, seeing hundreds of orbs. I'm seeing mist and orbs come through the window. I'm seeing These white orbs illuminate my face as they're flying through past me. This is going on, right? So now a couple days later, maybe a week later, this is a constant. This is now my new normal, okay? So now orbs flying through walls, hundreds of orbs flying everywhere, new normal, and I don't know what's going on. And now a week later, I go to the same bedroom, same window, here comes the next new normal. I'm seeing, with all the orbs flying everywhere through the walls, the illuminating white orbs, now I'm seeing in the ocean of hundreds of orbs flying everywhere, in the house, through the doors, through the thing, now I'm seeing little pops of red and blue and purple light everywhere. I'm seeing, and I'm like, and I'm seeing all the black orbs, I'm seeing all the white orbs, all the gray orbs, but now I'm seeing these purple blue orbs with this electricity inside of them. And I'm seeing they're everywhere. And so this goes on now more and more, right? So that becomes now the new normal. Now so I'm trying to skip forward. So let's say, so this is now my new normal. So now I'm like a couple weeks later, let's say I'm in our living room on the couch. Everybody's asleep. I'm on the couch. I'm seeing now hundreds of orbs everywhere, right? It's my new normal. And I'm seeing now specifically these blue-purple orbs that are everywhere. Everywhere I go during the daytime, the house, everywhere. They're in every corner of the house. They're in every inch of the house. I'm seeing them. I'm sitting on the couch one night, and I'm just watching this, right? And now I'm also starting to see, like I'm watching TV with the lights on, and I'm seeing over in the side where the dining room table, I'm seeing half images of figures, of human figures coming in energy and mist and then going out. And I'm like freaked out. The cat's looking. I'm trying to condense this all because so much has happened and so much has continued to happen and so much. And now right now at this point in my life, I'm in full relationship with them. It's way beyond what I'm telling you. But at that time, it's at night. I'm on the couch. I still don't know who they are. I know that there are UFOs. I know I'm seeing all these orbs. And now I'm seeing sparkles of light. And now I'm seeing all these blue-purple orbs with this electricity inside of them. They look like blue-purple orbs with red, purple, blue lightning bolts inside of them, right? And so I'm sitting there on the couch, and I'm seeing her flying around, and I reach my hand out to one of them. And one of them slowly, just like the stars in the sky, they move the same exact way. Remember I told you that?
Yes.
The stars slowly come down and then slowly recede. That's what this orb did. And now there are hundreds of them around me. And I'm seeing this orb slowly come towards my fingertips and then slowly recede. So that went on for a couple days, and then they started to and then I started to be able to touch them. And then one night, I'm watching hundreds of orbs flying around, and then all of a sudden something changes, and now they're all around me. They're in the palms of my hands. I'm touching them. I'm basically touching them.
What do they feel like?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly. And I'm trying to condense because it's so much happened all the time, 24/7. There's so many little transition points that we did with each other where we got to know each other, where they were teaching me things and ways that our friendship and our relationship evolved, and to where it is now is way beyond even where it was then. But that night when I was able to, basically there was this beautiful orb in my hand, and there were thousands of orbs all around me, and I thought that they were, anyways, let me just say this. So when I touch them, they have I touched the outside of the orb body. I was going to say his body, the orb body, and there's a velvety touch to it, and a little bit of a static electricity charge, a soft velvety feeling to the exterior of the orb. And so this kind of went on every night. And then one night I got the idea, because now they're in my hands, they're everywhere, they'll fly up to my hand, I'll touch them. So on this night later, maybe a couple weeks later, I'm holding this orb in my hand. And on one hand, I basically I think to myself, what would it be like if I wonder if I can expand them? So I grabbed those orbs in the palm of my hand, and with my other hand, I put my hand, one finger on the top and the bottom, and I slowly spread my fingers, and this beautiful orb expands in my hand as big as I can move my fingers. The orb goes, and then smaller and big and small. So I think, oh my God, that's amazing. I go, wonder what it would look like if I looked through the orb. So I literally took this orb in my hand and I looked through the orb. I expand. And when I looked through the orb, the most amazing thing I saw, I look through this orb and I see a tunnel of orbs from the orb that's in my finger going all across our room to the other side of the house. I see this tunnel of orbs. All the orbs are connected. And then coming through from the other end of the house is this red orb traveling through this tunnel of orbs to me, pops out this little orb and flies away. It was the most amazing thing. This becomes the new normal, okay? So it just goes on and on from there. So now I'm with the orbs. They're in my hands. We're touching. I'm looking through them. We're now in, let's say, a year and a half into it, right? And so many different things are changing. You know, I'm one morning I'm looking at my hand and I'm seeing electricity come off my fingers as I am on the treadmill, and I'm like, I'm really losing my mind now. And I'm like, what is this? And I'm talking to them, by the way, telepathically the entire time, and that from the beginning point. In that first year, you know, like the first month or two, I'm starting to connect with them.
Right.
You know, like for example, I'm driving through Malibu in that first couple months, you know, and I'm hearing this voice in my head, and I'm learning about how to identify that you're talking telepathically to them, you know, because I was saying to myself, well, I'm probably just making up this voice and training myself to think it's another person. And, you know, but what would happen is that I was driving through Malibu one day through Topanga Canyon, and I said, okay, if you're real, give me something that's something that I don't know. And the word biocentric came into my head, and I wrote it down, and I had no idea what that was. And so I went home and I researched the term biocentric, and it was, you know, blew my mind. It was everything that has to do with them. Is that, you know, everything is alive and conscious. Man has no inherent value over any other living thing. Through consciousness, we unlock the door to the gateways to the cosmos and beyond. It was just all of this stuff that I had been journaling about, and it was connected. So it was all this amazing stuff. But getting back to the telepathic,
we've got about 40 seconds.
Go ahead. Anyways, I learned to recognize their voice, because when you ask a question, before you're done asking the question, a voice will answer you on top of the question before it's even spoken in your mind, in another voice that sounds like your own, but with words that you would never use, like us and we and that kind of thing. But go ahead. You want to stop for a break?
Well, we do got to go for a break here. I am just absolutely fascinated by this.
Well, it goes way beyond where we're in just the beginning stages. I'll try to jam it, condense it, because where we are now is really the most important thing, you know.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because
Sure.
We are going to go to break here at the top of the hour. We are hearing one heck of an amazing experience. This is what we do here on Spaced Out Radio. We love it when we bring in experiencers with real stories, real drama. You can hear the emotion in his voice. And that's why we are loving Christopher Peters tonight on Spaced Out Radio. More of his incredible story with ET contact, UFOs, and whatever high strangeness comes out of it on Spaced Out Radio with our guest, Christopher Peters. We'll be back right after this. There we go, man. We're clear. I'm just going to quickly run my dogs outside. We got about 6 minutes, okay?
Go ahead. Sure.
Okay, I'll be right back.
You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Hey, it's me again. Carl. SOR, our Facebook page for Spaced Out Radio Show, our podcast at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. What do you want for Spaced Out Radio today?
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother is Watching.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and mustaches around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESA. We've teamed up to Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases still out on the SOR satellite system. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR satellite system.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Chirp, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that
All right,
will blow your
I'm
mind.
back, Chris.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Doggies have to pee.
Yeah, they'll be wanting to go out at the top of the hour next hour again, too, so.
No problem. Listen, I absolutely love all life. All animals, bugs, trees, human, being, spirit, all of them, angels, all of them. God. The whole gang.
Beautiful.
Yep. There's so much to say. It's just I'm trying to pick and choose, how to tell the story because there's so many parts of it that are really important, but I want to. How much time do we have left?
You and me, we got an hour and a half. But if you want to go the full 2, up until midnight, we could do that. I have I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need to do that. I just want to make sure I can. I just want to be cognizant of what we have left, so that I can. Because I'm trying to craft and shave and do because there's so much to tell. I don't want to go on too long about stuff that's not important. It's all important, but. Yeah. Where it goes is very important, and so that's what I was just trying to figure it out. Like, just time-wise.
Well, I really don't mind. If you want to go the distance, we could go the distance. If you want to cut it off at 11:30, we could do that too. I really don't mind. If you got time, I got time.
Well, let's see where we go.
All right,
and
play it by ear.
Yeah, I may.
Play it by
I
ear.
may run out of gas, but thank you. That's awesome.
All right, we got 30 seconds here. Big thank you to Alien Girl and Richard Lewis for the super chats. It really helps out what we are doing. Thank you to everybody for the thumbs up and down, and everybody who's hit that subscribe button. We are looking for 15,000 subscribers by my birthday on May 24th. Hey, do a little shopping at our store. Go to facebook.com/the SOR Vault. We really appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Joe and Ben, for the super chat. Here we go. Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate earning your listening ears. We want to welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Revolution Radio, and KPNL. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. What do you got for us, Clam? Oh, there it is. Palacesia. Palacesia is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as a Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight with our guest, Hollywood movie producer, director, Christopher Peters. He's an experiencer, and what a story he has for us tonight. Christopher, before we get started, you mentioned earlier that you have your videos of these craft and orbs on YouTube. What is your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's Alien U.S. Government UFO. So I think it's like capital A, Alien, and then capital U.S. Government, capital UFO. Alien U.S. Government UFO. Yeah, there's a S-load of videos there.
Well,
yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, check it out, and there you go. So that first year, okay, so there was, it started in September during the daytime, and then it was from that point on, literally every single day, 24/7. Meaning every night, UFOs, and then it would build every couple of weeks. It would build. They would add, more craft and more orbs, and it was just wall to wall and marks on my body, And then, and in that first couple of weeks, starting to notice this military thing and the sensors, and that really, and that helicopter, that black helicopter thing, that terrified me. When I first started to, after that first day, when at night, when I would see this beautiful cosmic family that we have, and I was having that experience with them, it was the most profound, loving. I remember one night I remember the first time I really felt that feeling. It was one night, and it was around 7:30. I'm in front of our house, and I remember the sun had gone down. There was still a little light left in the sky, but it was getting dark. And I remember I was looking up at the night sky, at the top of the sky, the horizon, and I see this golden ball literally shoot across from horizon to horizon within a second, like poof. And I remember something dropped out of it, and I see this other kind of like sphere drop out of this golden ball that went from horizon to horizon. And the other one disappeared, but this other one had popped out the back of it. And I'm watching this thing, maybe 700-800 feet, 1,000 feet in the air, slowly drift kind of in a snake pattern down towards me. And I'm watching this thing, and it's a glowing golden orb that's coming down and down and down and down and down. And I'm standing there, and I'm looking at our roof, and it gets to maybe a half a foot above the roof, and I'm face to face with this. And I remember in that moment, that was the first time I was terrified, because that was the first beginning. In the beginning, when you start to experience this stuff, it's one thing to see movies and see UFOs and aliens and orbs and stuff in movies, but when you experience something in real life that's right there in front of you, there's a terror because that is so primal. I had never felt that before. I had never felt in my spirit, in my body, and I was shaking. My legs were shaking like that adrenaline shake. My heart was pounding. I was so afraid, not from them, but from all the propaganda that I had seen over the years about movies and scary this and all these different things. And I was there in reality, face to face, and I was terrified. But there was something in me. There was something in me when that beautiful being, that orb, was a half a foot above my house, face to face with me, and I'm looking in the direction facing our house at the roof. I was hit in my heart and in my gut with the most profound love that you could. There's no words to really describe this feeling and the connection. The most compassion, the most connected, the most love, the most gentleness, a gentle energy and focus and observation and compassion, and this explosion in my heart, and then something in me, in my terror, reached out and was like, I love you. I want to know you. I don't remember the words, but I was reaching out because I had a quick flash of thought in my mind. It must have been a second of a huge download conversation I was having with myself, which is, I'm terrified at my core, and yet I'm feeling the most profound love that I've ever felt, and I don't want to lose this. And I reached out back to this, whoever this was, with love. So that was an amazing experience, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just feeling drenched in this feeling and consumed by it, inside out, pouring out through my skin, just completely connected. And I'm watching this beautiful golden sphere slowly disappear, slowly go away. And I can remember seeing the outline of, he was totally gone, but I knew he was still there, and I could see this faint shadow of an outline in the night sky right there. So that was a most amazing experience. And it was never terrifying from them. It was the experience was terrifying in the beginning because I didn't know who they were and it was unknown. But the more that it happened, because it was happening every day, the more that I kind of got used to them, and they had never done anything to scare me. But what did terrify me and what was so haunting were these military jets that have not stopped. And especially that in that first couple of weeks, those black helicopters, that was really scary. And that was a real unknown to me.
Right.
Somehow this experience with them, meaning the good guys, somehow, even though that was so unknown, it felt like a safe haven. It felt like a safe haven, and it has never stopped. And not only has it never stopped, but it has expanded into the most beautiful relationship. So let me just go in. So that first year, I did not know who they were, but I was having these moments with them. I was seeing craft in the sky. I was seeing all this orb stuff, all the changes of my body. And then I was starting to see orbs with my eyes, not just through the cameras, but all along with these military jets every night. Every night from dusk to dawn, every 5 minutes, and these sensors, every night, still going. The sensors are like on the hour, at the hour, every night, like sentries patrolling a castle, protecting something or looking for someone. And I remember going in that first year, and I'm talking telepathically with Ethos. That's his name. That was one of the first beings. I knew his name. He told me his name. Told me his name the day that I had learned the word biocentric, and I'd wrote it down. And Ethos couldn't find it anywhere, and then I found it in an ancient. I think it was, I don't know, like an ancient language. I can't remember the meaning of it, but it was a pretty specific type of meaning to the experience that I was having. Anyways, so we're talking telepathically. It's that first year. We're having all this contact. I'm having all these scars on my body, and all my eyesight is changing. I'm seeing all the orbs now, and they're coming in the house. Now I'm seeing sparkles of light. Now I'm touching orbs. I'm looking through them. All this amazing stuff, right? But all along are these military jets every night, dusk till dawn, every 5 minutes, and the sensor craft every night, and that's really scaring me because they're there. I'm filming them. I'm seeing, and you know, the other guys, the good guys, good. That felt wonderful, but this other stuff felt haunting. So I remember in that first year, maybe about 11, 12 months into it, I'm talking to Ethos. I'm sitting outside our kitchen on the side of our house in the nighttime, around 10:30 at night. Everybody's asleep, and I'm like, you know, I love where our this is going. You know, I still don't know who they are or what they are. But I know Ethos's name, and I know the experiences I'm having, and I'm like, but I don't understand the military jets, and I don't understand what that is, and those other sensor craft that are not UFOs. They look very man-made, but they float in the sky. They don't have they have some kind of anti-gravity technology, the military sensors, but they don't look like UFOs. They look like planks with sensors, et cetera. So I'm saying to him, like, what is that? That really is weird. I don't understand what that is. Why are there military jets flying over a residential neighborhood every night? I said, can you please tell me what that is? And when they talk to me in like one-word answers or a couple words. And he basically said, you don't want to know. And I said, I don't want to know. What do you mean I don't want to know? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you don't want to know. It'll terrify you. And I was like, and that was 12 months into it. And I'm like, wow, it'll terrify me. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, it'll terrify me. And I'm like starting to panic a little bit. You know, I'm already totally I'm already in that first year. And again, there's so much to tell you guys. So I'm trying to condense it all, but I'm already barely holding on to my reality. I'm like holding on to my reality, this physical day-to-day, like, okay, I'm married, I have to go to work. And this other life, I'm barely holding on to my sanity with a shred. And then so he tells me this, and I'm like, okay, all right, so you're telling me it'll terrify me. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to know. If it's going to terrify me, I don't want to know. But I said to him, I go, look, are we going to be okay? And when I said we, I meant humanity. And he said, you are going to be okay, but you're going to be challenged, but you are going to be okay. We're going to get through this. And that's all he said. And so I was like, okay, you know, I don't know what he's talking about. And so time goes on, and now more contact is coming, more scars on my body. More now, there are beings and different kind of like energy and mist appearing in the house, swirling around me. Orbs 24/7, are beautiful blue, purple orbs all over me, touching me. And so one night on the couch, all of this is going on. This is like the next new normal. We're now in a year and a half into it. I'm looking on our beautiful purple, blue being family orbs, and I'm touching them. You know, and I'm seeing hundreds of orbs all around my body, hundreds of orbs all around the house. Just everywhere I'm looking, every square inch is orbs. But then all of a sudden, on the couch, as I'm looking at this beautiful purple orb in my hand, and by the way, this is also something that had been going on, another orb would fly up as I'm holding one orb in my hand, would fly up behind my hand and shoot this blue kind of energy into my hand that would come through my hand into the orb in my palm of my hand. And in the palm of my hands, these images would start to appear in kind of like 3D, sort of like, like that kind of imagery. But emanating from the orb. So, but how that would start is that basically, how did it start? So I would have my palms open, one orb in my hand, one orb would fly behind my hand. Before the energy, there would be this mist that they would shoot into my hand that would come through the orb, that would fill the orb with this mist. So like half of the orb was kind of like open, and the other half was like a half open egg. So this mist would fill this orb, and it was this black mist that would fill the orb with this black mist. And as I was holding this orb in the palm of my hand, imagine a blue-purple orb, and then the other blue-purple orb shooting this black mist, which was also with this blue sort of energy was mixed in. It would fill the orb with this black, purple, blue mist energy, and it would create kind of like the other half of the orb. So it would sort of be almost like an imagery screen, and then in that, there would be this imagery that would be in the middle of the orb. So in the mist coming from the other orb behind my hand, I guess the imagery was coming from him, from this blue energy, and it would fill the orb, and that half orb in my palm would be sort of like a screen, and I would be watching this. But also that black mist, purple energy would start to spill out of the orb onto my hands, turning my hands black. Like I would watch my fingers would start to go black, and then my hands would be black, and then my arms would go black. And I remember like watching this, freaking out, like what is going on? And I started to touch the energy. And as I would touch this like mist energy that was turning my hands black, it felt velvety as well. But it would also, how do I describe this? When so my hands and arms are now black, and I'm holding this orb, right? And I'm seeing these images, but I'm also now noticing that my hands are black. As I would touch the energy that was black on my arm, for example, it would squiggle as if each individual droplet of black arm space was alive, like the energy. It was the craziest thing. So as I'm looking at these orbs in the palm of my hand, they're showing me images of different things. And like I would see like buildings, and I would see craft. But one thing in particular that I noticed one night, they showed me this face that I had seen before, and I didn't know where I had seen it, but it was a face that looked like a dragon. Not like a dragon that you see like in Chinese, like a animation dragon, not like that. More like a dragon, like a demon. And I was like, God, I had seen this face before. And I remember it terrified me. And I thought, oh my God, is this you guys? And they're saying, no, this is not us. This is someone we want you to know who. I don't remember the exact words. It was like, this is something we want you to know about, someone we want you to know about, like something like that. And I remembered, so that night happened, and I was like stunned. And I'll tell you the next thing that happened on that a couple nights later. But a couple days later after that night, it popped into my head that I remembered where I'd seen the face that they showed me. You ever see The Exorcist?
Yes, long time ago.
Okay. You remember in the beginning of The Exorcist when the priest is walking through the desert, and he walks over a sand dune, and he comes over the top of the sand dune, and he sees a statue in the middle of the desert staring at him of the devil?
Sort of.
Do you remember that? Okay, well, that's the face that they showed me. That's the face that they showed me. And when I realized this, it alarmed me, as you can imagine, in a very deep way. I was like, I have no idea why you're showing me this face, and this can't be the same face that I'm remembering from The Exorcist, although it looked identical. I mean, it was the weirdest face, very spooky, exact face of this statue, this demon statue in the desert in the Exorcist film. So that happened, and so going back to that night, so that happened. So next couple days, we're doing this thing every night where I'm holding them, and there are orbs everywhere, and in the palm of my hand, they're showing me images, and they keep showing me this face. And then they're showing me other things as well and all these different things. But that was the thing that really stuck out. So a couple days later, as we're sort of this new normal now of imagery now, now they're sort of taking me, they're starting to, here's the thing, when you're around them, you get exhausted. In the beginning, before I was around them a lot, when you start to kind of be around them, when there are hundreds of orbs all around you, the purple, electric, blue orb family that I call them at that point, you would get exhausted right away, and you would have to fight yourself from not falling asleep, like literally. And so I kind of made a game of it. So like when I would hold them in the palm of my hands, I could literally last maybe 5 or 10 seconds in the beginning, and I would just be done. I'd be like, and then I would sort of make a game of it, like to kind of fight it and fight it and fight it. And so, that was a process along with something else that they taught me that, gave me this sort of kind of endurance to be around their energy, because it's very exhausting when you're around them in the beginning. I have no idea why. So I'm trying to skip forward. So one night going into it, like a couple weeks later after this new normal of everything is around, I'm looking at them all fly through our room. I'm seeing them in the palm of my hand. I'm seeing them everywhere around me. And now all of a sudden, as I'm looking at them, I can see them all around me in the room, hundreds of orbs everywhere, and there's air in between them, right? But now all of a sudden, I'm not seeing air in between them. I'm seeing this energy that looks like gel. Right. It looks like air is gel. When you say right, what do you mean?
No, I'm just saying I understand what you're saying.
Okay, gotcha. I thought maybe you were saying, okay, like you got it too. Okay, cool. So I'm seeing this gel energy. I'm seeing hundreds of these beautiful blue, purple orbs, energy everywhere around me, and this gel energy that's in the air, that's in every space, in every direction I'm looking. And I'm like, what is that? And I'm moving my hand through the air, and as I move my hand through the air, I'm seeing waves in front of my hand, as if you're running your hand through a pool. You see like waves in front of your head. You're pushing the water forward. I'm seeing this wave of energy parting as my hand is moving through the air. And I'm like, what is that? And they said, that's your God. That's creator. That's our creator. That's our God. And I said, what? That's God? And I know how this sounds. It's just crazy, right? And I just thought, oh my God, I got to be making this up. But I'm seeing it. And I'm seeing them, and they're hearing the voice in my head and telling. So this becomes the new normal now. Now this goes on for months, and I'm trying to condense stuff, and now I'm having tons of different types of like mist beings flying around, and the orbs and energy and all these different kind of like things happening in the house, and I'm filming, but not getting great video on and seeing. So then I start to get, we're talking, and I'm starting to get all this information from them, and I'm starting to journal. And this is like, let's say, and by the way, let me go back just a little bit also. In that first year, I discovered like this electricity coming off my fingers, and I'm like, what is that? They said, that's our physicality, but it's also a healing gift.
Right.
It's our energy, but it's your energy, et cetera, And I didn't know what that was, and I thought it was just BS. I thought I was making that up. But that turned into, after me discovering how to sort of actually do it, an actual healing gift, which is really their physicality, but it's actually more than just a healing energy. It's a tactile tool that evolved into me being able to take people through a process of actually knowing them physically. But I actually ended up getting like doctor clients that had healings and all these amazing things that were happening.
I'm going to get you to cut it off right there, because we do got to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Great story, great experience, Christopher Peters, Hollywood UFOs. More of this right after this break on Spaced Out Radio. Stay tuned. This is good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I'm trying to lead up to the most important part. So I feel like, oh, maybe I'm boring people or not, but I wanted to give a lot of backgrounds before I get to the heart of the matter.
Yeah, no. You just
But
run.
thank you for saying that.
I'm having fun, man.
I'm good. Me too. I'm having a great time. It's wonderful to be with you, and I'm really enjoying it.
Thank you, brother.
I just worry sometimes, because there's so much that happened, and it all plays a part to setting the background of who they really are and what's coming and what's happening. And I want to, but I don't want to bore people either, with a lot of stuff, but so good. If it's entertaining, then I'm happy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, how's your doggy? What's your doggy's name?
I got two. One's name is Doug, and the other one is Shadow.
Those are beautiful. Do you watch American Gods ever? You ever see that series?
No.
It's a pretty amazing series. The reason why I bring it up is because one of the lead characters' name is Shadow Moon, and your dog name reminded me of that. But it's a great series. You check it out. I really enjoy it. It's a pretty interesting show. It's on Stars. I don't know if you get it up there.
I just finished binge watching this past weekend, seasons 1 and 2 of The Purge.
Oh, is that a series?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's from the movie, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's too violent.
Kind of grotesque.
Too violent. Yeah, too violent for me. Yeah. Did you enjoy it? What happened? Did they end up stopping the purge?
Not yet. I gotta wait for season 3 now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think that's a highly rated show, right? People like that show.
Yeah. A little sick and twisted, but what do you do?
Yeah. Listen. Everybody's got their flavor of stuff they like. I used to be totally into that when I was younger, but I don't. I can't watch that stuff anymore because too much of that is real and coming.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah. It's too scary.
I know.
Yeah, but that's cool. But yeah, American Gods is an interesting show. It's basically the premise is the old gods of the world versus the new gods of technology and money and all these different things. It's pretty interesting, kind of created by what's his name, Gaiman, Neil Gaiman. He's a great writer, great creator. One of his books. I think you might like it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like it. I didn't think I would, but I really enjoy it. Yeah. Are you married? Are you single or?
Oh, I have my partner and her and I have been together since 2008.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. What's her name?
Jolene.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't talk much about my family on the air.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I totally respect that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you have any cats? Any cats?
We got 2 cats.
Nice.
I don't even know what their names are. I just call them all Puss. It's easier.
You have one son, you said?
One son, and then we got I have my daughter who she'll be 22 this month. My stepdaughter is going to be 18 next month.
Oh, you got a full family. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. That's are they all together with you or
no? 2 of them are.
Do they live in 2 of them? Yeah. They live. Where are the other ones? The
oldest lives down near Vancouver.
Gotcha.
She's doing her own thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what people do, right? When they get older, they move out and see the world.
Exactly. It's good. It's
good.
all good.
I'm good. You're blessed.
Thank you, man. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
You are. Yeah. You definitely are.
We got to get down to California and hang out with you and see some of this stuff.
I would love that. I'd love to show you. I'd love to hang out. I'll send you some videos.
Yeah, I would love to come down and hang out and watch you with some of that stuff, man.
You're more than welcome to. Yeah, it's every night. It's every day.
Yeah.
Now I'm having the most amazing. It's just even more now. Now they're really. I'm having like these amazing like spirits like showing up on camera, like these big twirling colored smoke all around me and on film, just and over again, clearly there, and it's amazing. Just
here we go, my friend. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Thank you so much for tuning us in. My name is Dave Scott. Really do appreciate each and every one of you tuning us in. And I want to remind you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. We continue on tonight a very, very intriguing, personalized story of E.T. encounters. Hollywood director, filmmaker, producer, Christopher Peters is with us. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. So, the first couple years were, in retrospect, were them teaching me. It was like a schooling process, teaching me who they were, or teaching me about them. I can't speak tonight. Teaching me what they look like, giving me sort of a new understanding of the true nature of the true natural world. How they're connected with me, with you, with all life, craft, orbs, all of these different things, physically changing my body, my eyesight. It was a process that they were taking me through every couple weeks. Then they were up in the ante, and then they would repeat the same thing every single night for a couple weeks, and then they would add a new physical thing, a new scar, a new connection, a new awakening in my consciousness. Consciousness is not just a physical state. It's an actual physical land. It's our creator, and it's ourself, and it's a physical space, and it's a way to create and influence and heal and all these different things. And so all of these things were being taught to me and being sort of jammed into me in a fast-paced schooling that normally would take a long time, that they did in a couple years. And during that process, I was also starting to now get a lot more information from them that I was journaling about and making videos about. I had no idea really what it meant, and also in addition, a healing gift that they helped sort of let me awaken in me, which is not just a healing gift in me, it's their actual physical self, their energy. That's what I thought it was in the beginning, but it's actually more than that. It's an actual tactile tool that they introduce to an individual to teach them that there is no veil, to take them across and through a veil that doesn't exist, and to unite their intention with their consciousness, with God, Creator, to show all of these things so that you can affect physical matter, influence, kill if you need to, heal, etc. And so as I'm writing these things, and by the way, I'm not trying to kill anybody, but these are things that they're teaching me that this can do. So as I'm learning about all of this and seeing them and physically, and they're showing me the space that I had seen in The Exorcist, still not knowing who they were, saying this gel energy now that I'm seeing with my eyes that's never going away, that becomes a new normal, that's our creator, that think of God as a cell, and then all the connective tissue in the cell is all life, all worlds, me, them, spirit, this planet, another, space, air, water. God is the cell. All the connective tissue is each individual life form, that we are physically connected, not just, by thoughts and etc., but we are physically connected by this gel energy that holds all life, that is a part of us, that we are the material energy that makes up these orbs. We are that. And we are God, with the same physical material energy, yet separate consciousness, and also one whole at the same time. So all of these things. But as I'm going through that second year, I'm journaling more. They're telling me a war is coming, being fought in the battlefield of humanity's consciousness, in the battlefield of consciousness through perception. A war being fought and perpetrated against humanity through technology, about isolation, about a post-human agenda, about surveillance, control, technology, about killing off, all of these really dark things. I had no idea, but I'm journaling about this. I'm making videos on YouTube about this a couple years before any of the stuff that we're going through now. And all of this thing, the war is about the choice, it's about human choice. It's a war between God and darkness. The war between God and devil over humanity's choice. What's the choice? The choice is to go on naturally connected to God, to each other, to nature, to standing up for God and all life, to living on after this world, or to accepting the tyranny that is here and being disconnected from our natural connection physically with God, spirit, them, etc., and all life through technology that owns our consciousness, that rewrites our programming of our DNA, that is, being able to be connected to this technological cloud that is a false experience of God through vaccination, all these different things I'm writing about in this journal and making these videos about. I had no idea about any of this stuff. And all along during that time, in that second year before all of this coronavirus stuff, all of it, maybe a year before, I'm now starting to go outside and I'm taking pictures. Picture one, snap just above the roof, night sky, nothing. One picture two, bang, this big, beautiful angel in mist, big wings, outstretched wings, clearly an angel, 6 foot tall body, hooded thing over, amazing in mist, like, wow, look at that. Oh my God, that's an angel. And then I'm starting to learn who they really are.
Who are they?
And they're angels. They're connected to God. This is about the return of angels and God to humanity's awareness that God is real, and they're coming soon. And those stars in the sky, very soon, they're going to be returning day and night across the world for humanity to see as stars in the day sky, that not leaving. And that is the beginning of, let's call it, judgment, but not in the way that we think of it. And so more than just me talking, saying this is what they are, me taking pictures of angels, me taking videos of amazing balls of white energy flying over my roof towards me, and then coming out of the ball of energy, a white, like what looks like a bird, a dove flapping its wings, and white, blue, shining energy, and then emanating into an angel, and spirit out of the nothingness right next to me inside of my kitchen, like big things, this mist and smoke swirling around me with blue and golden energy and big, outstretched wings, day after day, night after night, all of this stuff, me standing out in the night sky, now, totally in full relationship with them. They are angels. They are angels, and that is God. And so what they were saying to me is that, people have a preconceived idea of what they expect to see, rather than who they really are. How that next phase started before even all of that is, I started making these videos. How did it start? I was in the house, and these beautiful orbs, right? These big purple blue orbs. Like, the next chapter of that is, now I'm starting to kind of touch the orbs, and all of a sudden they start to kind of shift and expand into these big columns of blue purple light, columns of big light, 6 foot, 7 foot tall columns of light, 5 or 7 of them in the house, and geometric patterns of blue purple energy grabbing my arms, touching me, embracing, big warm washes of energy and communication. And that became like this ritual that we would do in my kitchen every night, and then making videos outside of me standing in front of my house, looking up at my roof, and all of a sudden coming down from the heavens, big columns of purple light right to my roof, 5 in a row going straight up to the sky, and me going, are you really angels shooting stars over my head? Boom, 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 like night after night after night, video after video, proof after proof.
Right.
They are angels.
I got a question for you. Have you ever had any eyewitnesses around you who have watched or filmed this happen?
Well, I have hundreds of videos showing it on YouTube, and I have, when Third Phase Mood came out here, they did a test with me. They I mean, one thing they did is we were inside the house, right? And so I can do this thing that started about a year and a half ago where I can basically, I feel our creator, which is this gel energy. I can see the gel energy and I can feel it with my hands. And I can literally pop the air like a slap, like boom. And all of a sudden, hundreds of orbs will fly all around me. Mist will appear in front of me. And on that day, they had their entire crew in the living room. I did that. And this big golden looked like a W, a golden W in exploding fire mist that just blew up like right over our heads. We're standing in the hallway. They're standing behind me with the cameras and filming like in front of me, and I hit the air, and then from behind them across our shoulders in front of us exploded this golden being with mist and flew out and orbs everywhere. So yeah, they did that, and they tested me outside, and all of them filmed it and tested me on 4 different cameras. Yeah, they're real. Yeah, they're real. This is not a story. Look, to answer your first question, when you asked me at the beginning of this interview, like, why did it take me so long? It took me 2 years before, longer, 3 years, because I knew I've never been a religious person. I've never read the Bible. I didn't know if God was real. I wanted that to be true. I never believed in angels. I never believed in any of it. I never thought, the second coming, the judgment. Yeah, I never thought of any of that. And I knew, okay, this is something different going on here. Not because I'm different or special, because I'm not. We're all the same. Period. And I knew, but this was, they were in my space and teaching me, and here, this was because they wanted my life and everything that I'm doing to. And this is the truth of it, because I'm now doing it with people, is to teach people, show as a roadmap for people to know that angels and God are real, physically know them, physically have that relationship, to restore humanity's faith in God and each other and life, because we are being taken over by darkness. And this is... And when I said, and so when you asked me that question, I waited years because I knew it would totally destroy my life. I knew that it would totally ruin my business. I would destroy my marriage. I knew that it would destroy my credibility. I knew that it would, and I knew that I was putting all the fucking marbles down. All the fucking marbles down. And I waited that long because I was like, didn't want to lose all of that. And I thought, fuck it. And then what happened to me is I was just like, oh shit, this is not going away. It's increasing, and it's 24/7, and it's growing, and it's growing. And now now I'm in full relationship with them. They're my family. They're your family. They're our family. And they're here because they want to save our asses. But they won't do jack for anyone who doesn't stand up for the gift of life.
Right.
And they are returning, and they are going to return. Those stars in the sky, that first couple weeks when I reached up to those stars in the night sky and they descended down to my hands, almost, like, a few feet away, and then slowly went up and did that now over and over again. They were teaching me something that I had no idea what it meant or what was going to happen or why they did that. And it was only 3 years later when they really started to reveal who they were and what the deal was in terms of where we are now in this world, this time period, and what is this war and this takeover. This is about a post-human world. This is about a 1% that is very real, that is starving out humanity. And then when humanity is at its last tether, whoever is left, they want ownership of that connection from God to humanity, to nature, to all life. They want to occupy the space of that consciousness of each life, each person. And they're doing it. They're going to do it through technology. They're going to do it through the vaccines. They're going to do it through the technology that's in the vaccines. They're going to do it through all the different things that they have set up. This is about owning full spectrum dominance over whoever is left. And this is the showdown that's happening. And it's about people standing up for each other, for life, for freedom, for their ability to connect. And God, however they perceive God, it's not about religion. It's about the gift of life and standing up for that, and not allowing people to be inverted and who's essential and who's not. And this, it's and you know, you say these things to people, and so much of the world has bought off into this because it's dog training what they're doing to this world. They're doing little increments of, like, you know, the mask isn't a mandate. Okay, now it is. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're essential. You're not essential. They're dog training for a new society. So this is what's coming down. So when they would lower from the night sky to me and then go back up, and planted a seed. And then 3 years later, when all of this other stuff happened, and this relationship and all of this proof and all of these pictures and all of these, you know, those triangle scars on my chest are actually the same triangle patterns in the sky, which are the markings of God. You know, not to say that I'm God or that I have any special, which I don't, but that insignia that they carved in my chest are their symbols, that the triangle with the dash that goes to the right at the tip of the triangle, and those parallel boxes, those represent dimensions. And these angels, they're the physical connection point with all life and God. They're in charge of all dimensions, all space in that area, and they're the spark of life. They are literally that's their job for God, to be that connection point, but also to be the overseers of natural balance in all life. And so what they want is when they showed me that in the night sky, that first couple of weeks in that first year, they were saying to me in a way, when I didn't know it then, this is how we are going to return. This is what humanity is going to see. You're getting to see this now. And I didn't know what it meant until 3 years later, after all of this teaching, all of this physicality, all of the scars, all of the videos, all of the journaling before any of it happened, and now it's all happening. They're going to return. And you're going to see in the daytime, there are stars all throughout the sky that won't leave. And that's the beginning of God and angels returning to humanity's awareness physically. And at that point, we can either, hopefully before, reach out to them and to each other and to God, however we perceive God, and make that connection. And if you don't, you won't be able to escape it. Period.
I want to ask you, so we got about 4 minutes here to go before we go to break at the top of the hour. You mentioned how you were very worried about your colleagues around Hollywood, you know, potentially costing you your business because they would think you're off your rocker, you're nuts, you rode the woo train right out of town. And I know. And you know, but that's a seriousness of what you're going through. Is this a story that is highly, not just yours, but in general, highly covered up in the Hollywood groups that are out there?
The story I'm telling, my story?
Well, not just your story, but I'm sure there are others as well.
I've not heard. Sure, there's definitely people that we all know of but I in my lifetime, you know, my stepmom is Barbara Streisand, whatever that means, but I never, in all of those years with her and all the different people I met, and I met them all, the Clintons, all the different people. I never heard these stories from people. So maybe man, I'm telling you, the darkness that I'm seeing unfold in our world, I never thought I would see. When I was growing up, I'll tell you a little story. When I was a little boy and growing up, and I was with Barbara and my dad from 5 to 17, 18 years old, she was the biggest star in the world, period, at that time period. And with that comes tremendous access to anything. Nothing is off limits.
Yes.
There are no rules that can't be worked around. There are no laws that can't be broken. There's nothing that holds those people back. And I was a little boy experiencing that. And on one end, it was amazing because, you go to Disneyland, you don't have to wait a line, you go this, you go that, whatever. It's amazing as a kid, right? But I was a little boy. I didn't understand what the implications of any of that meant. But I never in my life, and also the mentality of those people. And my true mother is not like that, but my dad is, and Barbara is. She's a good person, but they just can't escape it. They see themselves as gods because the money is their god. And they just did a blue flash right as I said that. I'm sitting in my garage. They just did a big blue flash when I said that just now.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But I never in my wildest dreams as an adult thought I would see that way of being in the world and that mindset spill out into the subject. I don't know, what's the word? The subjugation? No, I never thought I would see that elitist way of being spill out into our world. I know it's there, of course. I know it's there. There's horrible tragedies all the time, but there was a detente in a way. There was a bullshitting of like, hey, like there's some social contract. I never thought I would see that social contract broken, and that darkness and that sort of like, we are gods, you are not, spill out and become the norm. And then see what I never thought I would see that in my life, and to see this going down this way, it's gut wrenching to me and heartbreaking. And so I don't know. So to answer your question, I think those people are most of them, and there are probably many amazing people that have had experiences that I don't know. And there are some people that I met, like Shirley MacLaine. She was amazing. She's really cool. And I met Deepak Chopra. He was great too. I don't know if he's had these experiences, but most of those people, their God is money. Their God is access. Their God is power. And so when there are real beings in the world, like other than angels, of course. There are beings from other worlds. There's spirit. I'm doing videos now, man, where I'm like, I have spirits physically manifesting right beside me over and over again on camera, clearly, not like a little thing here, like out in the open, right there.
Right.
And me going, hey, spirit family, love you. Like, it's goofy, but we're that close and connected now.
Right. Chris, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we do got to go to break at the top of the hour here. Christopher Peters, amazing personal encounters with extraterrestrials, spirit world, angels. We continue it right after this on Spaced Out Radio. This is awesome. You're going to make me edit, but this is awesome.
Oh, shit. Really? Why? I'm sorry. Why? Because we're going too long?
No, the swear words.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, man.
That's all right.
I didn't know
Dude,
that.
it's the passion. Hey, for the podcast format that we're doing right now, it's perfect. I'll edit it out after the show for the radio side, and we're all good, man.
I'll keep my... Yep. Sorry.
I'm just going to run my dogs out. I'll be right back. Okay, bro?
Okay. Go.
Thank you.
to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrood, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/spacedoutradio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment.
For the price of one cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest. That's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy, disclosure support unalike we're glad to lead up to Space Out Radio and other investigators together we'll investigate the strange sightings and reports of the past. Looking for answers just like you. Hello and sign in to Space Out Radio and let's figure out what's going on together.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get bumblefucked?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
How you feeling?
I feel good. What time is it now?
It's 11:04.
Yeah, maybe, I can do another, 10, 15 minutes, and then I got to kind of pack it in.
Let's go to the bottom of the hour, and then we'll call it the night, okay?
Sure. Bottom mean 11:30?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So when we get to the break at the bottom of the hour, just sit through the break, and then I will say a proper good night to you, okay?
Wonderful. I will do that for sure.
Not a problem.
Thank you again, by the way.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Thank you.
And I hope it's working out good.
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm having a lot of fun here. Thank you.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. Is it snowing there right now?
No, it's a little cloudy, but no snow. Not yet. I'm waiting for the big dump. We haven't got that yet.
When does that come usually?
Should have had about 2 of them by now. We got some about a month ago, and then there's still snow all over the ground. Roads are icy, but excuse me.
But it's not massive.
No, not massive yet. So it's coming. Let's see.
Yeah.
Weather, and let's go here. Yeah, it's supposed to not be that way. Let's see. Where's the forecast here? Let's go here. We got like 25 seconds, so we got lots of time. Next 7 days. It's not supposed to snow until Tuesday.
That's fun, though. At least you get some snow coming.
Oh, yeah. I like the snow.
Where are you, in Winnipeg? No, where are you?
I'm about 5.5 hours northeast of Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, my friend. Here we go. Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Dave Scott. We appreciate earning your listening ears. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, KPNL, and Revolution Radio. Remember to check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Palacesia. Palacesia is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce Christopher Peters. He is a Hollywood director, movie creator, very talented man, very big name in the Hollywood scene, and he's an experiencer of extraterrestrials as well. Christopher, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
Have you ever been abducted, so to speak? Have you been on their craft?
You know, I've asked them that question. They said many times. You know, I don't have a memory of it. I had one, you know, in the first year I was having these, they weren't dreams because I wasn't asleep. I would lay down, close my eyes, but I'd be awake. And then all of a sudden I would have the most, like, literally 3D. I remember one in particular one where I literally saw, I'm like, my eyes are closed, I'm not asleep, I'm on the couch, and I see this like noise like that you would see on a TV, like snow, but it's blue. And I see this blue snow in my mind's eye, like with my eyes closed. I'm watching this in my head. And then all of a sudden out of this like noise, this like blue snow, is this blue face starts to form and like these eyes, these big eyes. And it was amazing. But in that first year, I remember one of those experiences where I was like on a craft, but not really other than that. But they told me, yeah, many times, because I have these scars all over my body. I literally have a scar from my neck to my gut. It was suture marks. And I said to them at different times, they're like, where did you do this? Did you do it on the couch while my cat's sleeping at my feet? My wife is next to me. I mean, or did you take me on the craft? And they said, yeah, you've been on the craft a lot, you know. And I said, physically, like my body has been there? And they said, yeah, but there are some times that and in that first year, man, I would wake up, you know, with all these different marks and bruises and scars and puncture marks, but also like I would like get in like a full night's sleep and wake up in the morning and feel like somebody just tranked me with like the most heavy narcotic. It was the weirdest thing. And that would happen over and over again. And I was like, why am I so exhausted, so groggy? And so that led to conversations. And they said, yeah, this is where we were doing these operations and different things that we did to you, and you were on the craft. So, yeah, but that wasn't a big part of my story, really.
Okay. So these beings, you know, you've seen some of them. Have you ever seen the classic extraterrestrial, like greys or mantids or beings like that?
No, these guys have been in my life. I mean, I see every night. I mean, I have videos now that I just did tonight when I was waiting to do the interview with you, and this happens every night. Every night there's a new being that shows up on camera, on film. Hundreds of orbs every night, all this different things. But now this new being that has started to show up on camera is like this big wall of mist that's maybe 6 feet tall, maybe 8 feet wide, with these long lines of energy in them and orbs, but it's all one unit that moves. And it flew past. I was like filming on my iPhone. It flew past me in front of the camera and then flew over the house. So I have so many different kinds of beings that are with me that are in this family, this angelic family. There are spirit, there are beings from other worlds. It's a big family, this family. This is the family that's coming to whip ass on darkness for us, and with humanity, if they stand up. So there I have on camera many different, I have this other beings that are many videos over the last couple days that started showing up. It's really interesting. So when it gets really windy and I start filming, I have these beings that show up when it's really windy that look like electric eels that are, and clearly on camera. Like, they're there. You see them, they're right there. They look like, so when it's big gust of wind, I'm out in front of my house, and then like right in front of me, you'll see these big long lines of like electric eels that are like flying through the air, like golden and red and electric eel, and big long squiggly circles, and they come like intertwine and then disappear. And so but in terms of relationship, it's been with them from the beginning. And I didn't, and when you say classic alien, that blue face in that first year when I wasn't asleep, when I was lying on the couches and I was having all of these kind of holographic dreams that weren't dreams. I was awake, but I would close my eyes and immediately be flying down tunnels, seeing all this holographic imagery, and these blue faces would peer, like almost like they're peeking through my head into my like consciousness as I'm looking out, my eyes closed. They have that face. They have that beautiful, but it's not. It's more like a round, beautiful blue face with these big black eyes, these big almond black eyes. But they have been my main mashbuka, as I call them. That's Yiddish for family. That's what I call them now. When I go outside, I'm like, okay, mashbuka, time to make another video. I'll get like flashes of light, boom, 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 shooting star. Turn the camera on. And then, they're there with these pulsing big columns of light, pulsing blue crafts. I filmed a UFO the other night that nobody had ever seen before. I knew that for a fact. And I made the video. I'm like, this is a UFO you've never seen before, period. And it looked like a ladder. Like if a ladder came down to a point, that's what it looked like. And I filmed it. You clearly see it. I say, stop at the 40-second mark, go frame by frame, and you see it. It just goes right over my roof, like it's 2 feet from me. Like I'm standing outside of our kitchen filming my neighbor's roof, which is 5 feet away. It's like a half a foot of the roof right there. It's amazing. But my relationship has been with them because this is about humanity's choice between God and darkness. This is about the extinction of humanity, or the humanity goes on if they choose God, if they choose not religious God, but God has they choosing life, choosing connecting with Creator, choosing standing up for each other. This is a showdown, period. We don't get past this point. They are returning. This relationship has been with them, and all of this cramming and all of these experiences have been about teaching me so that I can teach other people to do this exactly how I did it, and they will have a physical relationship with God and angels and stop. And the ones that don't know my story, when they see them return from the sky as stars in the daytime, people who are connected to themselves, even if they're not spiritual people, if they're connected, because nature is an extension of God. They absolutely love nature. They do plasma owls for me. I have it on video. They love owls. You'll hear like an owl sound, and then you'll see a plasma owl fly over your head and disappear right in front of you. Or they'll call real owls night after night to land, fly, and sit next to me, or hawks. Nature's an extension. So my point is that any person who's a spiritual person, even if they're just like mildly like, hey, they love their friends, they love to connect, they love music, they do yoga, whatever their thing is, those people who are connected to their heart, who are connected to wanting to see people prosper, those kinds of people, they're going to know who they are when they return. They're going to know who they are. And it's about making that connection, because this is not a story. This is a physical reality coming to fruition. And people are, it's not something they're going to go on their phone. Okay, hashtag, move on to the subject. They're going to jerk you out of your fucking shoe. Oh, sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Sorry. They're going to jerk you out of your shoes metaphorically, and you're going to look into their eyes, and they're going to look into yours, and you look into your heart. And if you are that person, you're going to be protected. But it's not just about that. You have to stand up in your life and protect life and protect freedom and protect each other and protect what is given to us from God. And again, guys, I'm not trying to be that like preacher and religious person, because I don't care about that stuff. But this is coming down. And this is why I've had this relationship exclusively really with them.
Mm-hmm. You've had this now for 3 years, and
Yep.
this has completely transformed your entire life, your entire way of thinking. You know,
Period. Yeah.
you're lucky, though, because you have had positive encounters. There are many out there who have had very negative type encounters that they are dealing with at the same type of timeline that you are. How fortunate do you feel that yours aren't negative?
Knowing them is the greatest love affair of my life. I couldn't, and the word love doesn't even describe gratitude or pale comparisons to knowing them and being in relationship, connected to nature, the way that they've given me that, the way that they've given me the appreciation of all life. I am absolutely weeping at the beauty of nature and them and all life. So I feel, and to be able to be a part of this journey to help destroy darkness into infinity, to help unite people, to stand up and connect, to think what, and by the way, I want everyone to know they're with you 24/7 physically. Nobody is alone. They are around you physically, not here, not there. I'm talking right next to you now, never leaving, always there, and is God. We need to reopen our minds up about God and how we perceive these stories and what we think of them in terms of separation. There is no separation. Everything affects everything. You are connected physically to angels and God, and they are with you, and they are there to be known and to have that relationship with. There is no veil. We go on. We are in full relationship, and we've only been taught this world because the people don't in control. And again, I know this is a real conspiracy theory thing to say, don't want us to realize how we are physically a part of them and connected and family. So,
okay.
I feel very lucky.
For a lot of it,
I feel very lucky. Yeah.
But for a lot of experiencers out there, sometimes the phenomena just shuts off. How would you feel if all of a sudden tomorrow you wake up and they're gone?
They'll never be gone. I'm too far down the line with them. It's never going to change. It's only going to grow for me. It's never. We are best friends. That's never. I am physically changed. Eyesight, connection. I can sit outside. My consciousness, my ability to will my consciousness now. I can affect physical matter. I know it sounds crazy, but I literally can sit with the computers outside when there's no Wi-Fi and pulse my mind and bring a full column up and bring stuff back online. I can sit and say to the computer, go to this site, and it goes without touching the keyboard. That's all from them, But my point is that there is no them going away, because we are never separated. Nor are you. That's an idea that we've been sold from this world to create separation. We are physically enmeshed 24/7, meaning you, me, them, God. We are, again, God is the cell, The strands of the cell are you, me, a tree, spirit, angels. There is no separating from that cell of the tissue of the cell. It's a part of each other and separate consciousness at the same time. That's how it is. So there is no losing them. There is no them going away. We are always together. You are always together with all of them and spirit and all beings, etc. The only thing that changes is our perception. That's what makes people lose their experience, is they lose hope in themselves. They lose faith in their experience. They have a scary thing or whatever, and their perception shifts. That's the only reason they experience that separateness and that at loss, that leaving feeling. But they're never gone. They're always physically connected and there physically to know in all ways, physically, spiritually, in all ways. So I know that now. I see that daily. It's a part of my new normal. I can't escape not seeing this gel energy, which is our God, not seeing them as columns of light everywhere I go, connecting, touching. At night, I stick my lips out and I go, okay, guys, before we do this sort of thing where they appear as columns of light, wrap around me in geoelectric patterns and love, etc. And, you know, before all that, I go, okay, guys, time for our time. And I stick my lips out and I go, time for a little kiss. And you see my lips go move around like boom, and you see this energy appear in front of my lips and move my lips around. Okay, so we're way down that line. And anybody can have that. And this is what this what my book is about. It's because I want people to know they're never alone. In fact, they're surrounded by their mishpucha, their family, 24/7, never going to leave them. All they have to do is understand that and then go through a process of shredding away their ideas of separation that have been sold to us by this world, by this 1% to control us, to own our consciousness. Now they're going to do it technologically through vaccination and all these things, but they've done it in a way before all of that through indoctrination. The truth is we are full bloom, full tits, full boogie, on fire people, connected physically with spirit being. There's no veil. Our energy, any person, we are all the same, but we get taught to be dumbed down. And then what we believe creates physically in our world. Everything is energy and consciousness. All physical material, energy and consciousness are physical material tools and a physicalized realm and our creator and our separate abilities to create, etc., blah, blah, blah. Perception is the real molding tool in physicality. Perception, what we think, what we believe, what we feel on day to day really shapes our physical experience that goes with spirit, them, our lives, everything. And this is a war on humanity's perception being fought in the battlefield of consciousness between darkness and light over the choice of humanity going on or being connected to this false darkness that's wanting to create this God experience and owning us in a deep post-human world.
We've got about 4.5 minutes left with you tonight, and this has been absolutely amazing. Where do you go from here? Are you almost at the point where you're going to get behind the camera and start working something like this for a new movie, documentary series of your own experiences? Where do you go?
What I do is I finish the book, it's almost done. I've got about almost 200 pages proofread. I put the book out. The book's going to have pictures of them on every other page. I have these great angel pictures of them. I have these great, they do these big triangles of mist over my house in the sky. I have them. So what happens is, hopefully, this is my wish, this is my hope, they're going to return from the sky day and night, and you're going to see stars in the sky throughout the day, all throughout the world. People are going to get terrified. They're not going to know what it is. Some people are going to know, and others may not. But they're going to know ultimately very quickly. And my hope is that the book comes out, can be a touchstone for people and a guide for people to know God. Not religion, okay? Not religion, to know angels, to know how connected and loved you are, to know how protected you are, to inspire humanity to stand up for each other now in a time where we need each other more than ever because we're being taught that we're not essential. Who has the right? Who has the right to teach another person they're not essential? Where did that come from? Why are we not standing up? I'm not mad at you, but I'm pissed. I love humanity. I love this world. I love nature. I love our beautiful being family. I love you guys in the audience. We need to stand up. Who has the right? Nobody. Only God. And there is a God, and those people will know them soon.
Well, we'll soon find out. So with 2 minutes to go here before we gotta say goodnight to you, you know.
And I apologize for the passion, by the way.
Oh, no, the passion is beautiful. The passion is beautiful.
This is important to me. This is not a game for me because I desperately want us to be free from this. Not from them, from this darkness.
Well, okay, so now do you wait and see whether or not they're going to take you up for a pretty big ride or what?
No, I finished the book. I do what I'm doing. I keep making my videos every night. Every couple nights, a new beautiful being shows up. You know, I keep putting the stuff out. That's what they're saying is good. I'm painting a picture for people. What they keep telling me is people don't understand what they have a perception of what we're supposed to look like, what we're supposed to be like. You need to keep making the videos, keep showing people what the true natural world is, what the true natural world looks like. Keep making the videos. No matter how random, how this, just keep doing them. The book comes out. Hopefully people read it. They see it. They return. People see that in the sky. Hopefully this is a tool that helps people feel at peace, to connect, to learn. They forge that relationship. The end game in this is what happens is that if people, and there are many paths to God, by the way, it doesn't have to be through me, you know, or through this book or whatever, but when people connect to them, to God, however you perceive God, if it's through this process, in my way, not my way, their way, this is not me, this is them. When people say, you know, in this revelation, the heaven on earth, that's what happens, that is what's going to happen, but not in the way that people think. It's through this physical relationship, through this process. And again, it's not me, it's not my process. Many people can do it different ways, but if you choose this process, there's an awakening in your consciousness where you realize that consciousness is not just a meditative state, that it's a physical space. And not only that, it's our creator. It's also the gel energy is our creator. And there is, and you start to get to know their angels start to show up in terms of these purple orbs, then the purple columns of light, then actual angels. You start to interact and talk and connect and experience and other beings. And you realize there's no veil. You realize that energy and thought and consciousness is a real thing, and that you can affect physical matter, and that physical matter creates around these principles, not the other way around. And it's in that merging and in that awakening of people's perception and that sort of peeling of the onion, a new society forms and begins and emerges from the ocean, which is a society that all life is equal, and that we know God physically, we know angels physically, we know spirits physically, and we're in relationship with each other.
Chris, I got to cut you off right there, my friend. I hate to do it, but thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio. Coming up next, we have the News Wire, the Thought of the Day. Stay tuned. That's beautiful stuff, man.
Good, man. Thank you so much.
I'm giving you a clap, man. That was fucking awesome. Fucking awesome.
I appreciate it.
We're going to do this again, man. We're going to do this again.
Let's do it.
For sure.
Let's do it. I love it. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Brother,
it was awesome.
We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah, and you're amazing. You're great at what you do, and I appreciate the time.
Thanks, you, bro. You take care.
Take care.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Love him. Love him. You know what? I will say this. The emotion that he has towards the experiences that he is having really, really solidified for me that this guy's telling the truth. He's passionate about it. Passion of the Chris. Exactly. Oppa, Greco. Kids Future, how you doing? Welcome. Eva. Hey, Duke. How you doing, Duke? Hey, thanks, cousins, brothers. Appreciate you guys, man. Couple of shout-outs there for you, too. Let's give the cousins, brothers a little clap as well. Take a bow. Super Quest, how you doing, buddy? Chris Kringle, how's the off-season? I thought he was fantastic. You can tell he's telling the truth. You can tell. Babster, we know. And somehow they give you internet access. Kay Kaylee, looking beautiful tonight. The beautiful and talented Kay Kaylee is here, everyone. She'll be signing autographs after the show. She's just fashionably late, but she made it in time. Don't forget, $5 an autograph for Kay Kaylee. $5 an autograph. Line up to the left outside the studio once the show is done. Don't look her in the eye. She doesn't like eye contact without permission. We got just over two and a half minutes. Neil Bog. Excuse me. How you doing, buddy? What do you get for $10? An autographed 8x10. And a handshake. With gloves on, of course, but don't make eye contact. Got about 90 seconds here. Yeah, we're looking forward to having you, cousins, brothers, as well. About time you get on this damn show. Make sure your hair looks beautiful, too. "25 seconds. Thank you to Cat Chaser, to UFO Garage, Alien Girl, and Richard Lewis for the super chats tonight. We really do appreciate the support and the love, and everybody who's given us a thumbs up and a thumbs down and a thumbs all the way around. And hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. Here we do it. Go here, people. We rounded heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We really do appreciate it. I want to remind you that if you missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Speaking of the news, let's do this thing, shall we? Is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire. At the back end of every show, we get to hear the strange, the wacky, and sometimes, what's this? Sometimes cool stuff. Yes, a new Netflix series called Surviving Death. A non-believer filmmaker explores the possibility that something else might be waiting for us at the end. Yeah, no shortage of paranormal activity either. People claim to have been reincarnated actors, pilots, or murder victims while they describe the feeling of a heavenly embrace during an NDE. Over 6 hour-long episodes, the series pores over signs of evidence that there is something to experience beyond our last breath. Director Ricky Stern, he's your skeptic. Yeah. Or she, pardon me, because it's with an I at the end. I apologize. Her show practically invites it. She goes, I would call myself a sort of a non-believer, but someone who is open to it. Stern, who recently did a docuseries work called Reversing Roe and Surviving Jeffrey Epstein, doesn't shy away from cross-examining the mediums and the witnesses who appear on camera saying they speak to or have seen apparitions. The show never dismisses the possibility that a seance can use lighting tricks to conjure a ghost, or a medium can dig up information on Facebook and pass it off as far from beyond the grave. But this is looking like a good one. This is looking like a real good one. She also works with Leslie Kean on this, the famed New York Times writer, freelance journalist. Yes. So, let's move on. Stern's series also builds a convincing and provocative case that our consciousness can and does continue beyond life as we know it. The director explained that she wanted to explore the possibilities of a great beyond through legitimate analysis. To do that, Stern followed the lead from journalist Leslie Kean's book, Surviving Death, which is what the series is based on. Kean, who also appears in the series, brought a research-heavy scientific approach to discussing an afterlife, which can be a bit like using a stethoscope on a ghost. When the scientific world loves physical evidence, how do you build a persuasive argument for the metaphysical? Kean says she enjoyed the inherent challenges of bringing investigative practices to find the truths that you probably never want to get to. Well, let's not forget, this lady worked very closely with Robert Bigelow. She knows a lot. Kean added, everybody has to decide for themselves whether something has meaning for them or not. With science, it's really not objective. Here we go. Let's move on. That's nice. Here's a really cool story. So we're going to go back in time a little bit, and we often hear tales of people who embark on these really interesting searches for illusory objects, but it's rare that you actually find one or find what you're looking for. That's why this story of an urban explorer uncovering the crash site of an A-12 ox cart near Area 51 is so satisfying. So this was in Popular Science, featuring highlights of Central Intelligence Agency pilot who was killed in a secret aircraft test flight, and the guy who set out to find the crash site of his plane decades later. Now, on January 5th, 1967, pilot Walter Ray took off from Area 51 in his A-12, which is the predecessor to the SR-71 Blackbird, so you know what it looks like. Lockheed Skunk Works built the A-12 for the same purpose, strategic high-altitude recon. An A-12 was shorter and lighter than the SR-71, but even faster. In fact, the A-12, which started flying in 1963, still holds a record of Mach 3.29 at 90,000 feet for air-breathing jet-piloted craft. However, the SR-71 featured a considerably longer range, which led to the A-12's retirement in 1968. The SR-71 flew until 99, but Lockheed built just 15 A-12s in total, and the tiny fleet lost 2 planes in crashes, including the one that took pilot Ray's life. On that day in '67, Ray's aircraft experienced a rapid fuel loss, resulting in the shutdown of the aircraft's engines. The pilot attempted to bail out, but it failed. Although the U.S. government located the remains of both the aircraft and the pilot, the location of the crash site was considered a secret. In the late 90s, an urban explorer named Jeremy Kranz latched onto the legend of the crash and vowed to locate it. Over the years, he slowly but surely eliminated places it might be, actually visiting these remote sites in the high Nevada desert, where in 2009, Kranz finally located the 42-year-old debris field scattered across otherwise unremarkable length of the desert. But the story doesn't end there. Although the CIA eventually recognized Ray's sacrifice on the famous memorial wall at the agency's headquarters in Langley, Virginia, it never publicly acknowledged the actual crash site where the pilot lost his life. So on a subsequent visit to the location, Kranz erected a memorial to Ray, including a miniature model of an A-12 ox cart. How cool is that? Found the spot. Now we're all going to go there and get our pictures taken. Maybe a monolith will show up. Well, we can't seem to stop talking about Dr. Avi Loeb and Oumuamua because his new book is out called Extraterrestrial, for the first sign of intelligence life beyond the Earth. He contends that astronomers were too quick to brush the odd asteroid aside as something natural instead of investigating it further. Most of the mainstream astronomy community continued with business as usual and ignored Oumuamua's anomalies, Dr. Loeb said. Instead of looking into the object, they made up reasons why they existed. Some mainstream astronomers tried to explain the anomalies, but needed to invoke objects that were never seen before, like hydrogen icebergs or dust bunnies, that were not likely to survive the long interstellar journey. And that's a damn shame, he believes, because Oumuamua was so unique and its characteristics didn't deserve to be explained away so quickly. First of all, Oumuamua was no mere stone hurtling through space. It was about 2,600 feet long and about 131 feet wide. This gave it a strange elongated shape reminiscent of a cigar. That's a very unusual shape, said Paul Chodas, manager of NASA's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies, in a 2017 video with NASA. We don't see that in our solar system. None of the asteroids in our solar system look like that, so it's very puzzling. So Oumuamua was also apparently reddish in color, indicating that it came from somewhere outside of our solar system. It also lacked particles of gases that usually surround and trail a comet, known as a comma. Interesting. It was moving unusually fast as well, tumbling head over heels, and accelerated in speed as if it was being pushed. The trajectory was weird, grazing around the sun and back out of our solar system again. This is in contrast to other objects that just get caught in our sun's orbit and circle around the neighborhood for a while. Now, scientists hypothesize Oumuamua was just some anomaly that relied on hydrogen to speed past us. Others say the hydrogen theory isn't grounded in real physics, but overall, the majority of the astronomy community believes it's a natural object. Dr. Loeb disagrees. He wants humanity to keep an open mind about the possibility of extraterrestrial life. My point is that it is very difficult to explain the weird properties of Oumuamua with conventional natural processes. So studying the object of its type in the future will educate us about whether or not unusual natural science or from another civilization is to explain how this is working. Let's move on. This one is a little bit of excitement to me. Maybe to you too, if you grew up watching The Knight Rider. The customized Pontiac Firebird Trans Am that portrayed David Hasselhoff's crime-fighting partner Kit in the 1980s series Knight Rider is being auctioned off by the actor online. I want this car. Hasselhoff, who took ownership of the black vehicle after the series run ended, is currently available for sale at liveauctioneers.com. Oh, wow, I'm looking at the site right now. Yeah, this is way out of my budget. Way out of my budget so far. It's at $475,000 right now. 8 bids. 8 bids, up to $475,000. Oh, that's just terrible. I want that car. Want that car. Anyways, the auction, scheduled to end January 23rd, has reached a high bid of 975,000. Hold on. Well, I'm looking at it right now. It says 475. Let me scroll down here. They're lying. This story's lying. All right? It's okay. By the end of January 23rd, pardon me, they expect it to reach 975,000, far exceeding the estimate by the auctioneers at 175 to 300,000. Lot winner responsible for its delivery expense. If hammer price exceeds 25% of the reserve price, the Hoff will personally deliver the car to the new owner. Oh, getting to meet the Hoff up here in 100 Mile? Who wants to lend me some cash? I need a cool mill right now. Need a cool mill. I want this car. It's kit. It really is. Gorgeous. Oh, looking at it right now. Wonder why he's done it. They didn't ask him why he's doing it. That sucks. The organizers of the No Pants Subway Ride, an annual January event held on public transportation in more than a dozen cities worldwide, announced the 21 event has been canceled. Here we go. Here we go. Improv Everywhere, the performance art group that has organized the No Pants Subway Ride since the first event was held in 2002 in New York City, said this year's Sans Pants public transit trek has been canceled due to COVID-19. Yes, what else? So here we go again. Here comes the list of cancellations now. Here we go. Due to COVID-19, we are canceling the No Pants Subway Ride this year. We look forward to hosting more large-scale events once it is safe to do so again. Previous years have seen organized groups of subway riders taking predetermined commuter train routes in their underwear in cities like New York, Chicago, L.A., London, Boston, Berlin, Calgary, Dallas, Mexico, and a ton more. Oh, nobody's dirty underwear going to be on those seats. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Moving on. If you're rich, you're rich. But if you're wealthy, you get to do things like this. An Indonesian man who shared photos from a plane where he and his wife were the sole passengers said he bought all the available tickets for the flight to prevent exposure to COVID-19. Richard Mulaji, a Jakarta-based socialite famous for his extravagant lifestyle, posted a series of photos to his Instagram story showing how he and his wife traveling alone on a Batik air flight from Jakarta to Bali. Muljada said he bought as many tickets as possible for the flight, which boasted 12 business class luxury seats and 150 economy class seats, because he and his wife, Shalvian Chang, were super paranoid, by the way, tell me about it, about being exposed to COVID. He did not disclose how much he paid to keep the flight private, but he wrote the amount was still cheaper than chartering a private plane. The Lion Air Group, which operates Batik Air, confirmed that the two were the only passengers on the flight. The company said Muljadi has only booked 2 tickets in his name, but it was unclear whether he had purchased other tickets in separate bookings. Hey, when you're rich, right? Security cameras at a medical college in India recorded a scary moment when a leopard wandered into the building on campus and wandered around the halls. The footage recorded at this medical college in Karnataka shows a leopard wandering into a building on campus and walking up and down the hallway before fleeing out the same door it used to enter the facility. The dean of the school confirmed the leopard entered the building January 2nd, and the animal's incursion was witnessed by college staff. Officials said the college is located next to a tiger reserve, so leopards are sometimes spotted on campus. Have you ever seen a leopard up close? They are gorgeous. Finally tonight, we just get rid of Caillou, and the world is rejoicing. Oh, but they brought something funny here. A brand new children's television show has debuted in Denmark, and it's making quite a splash. Why? At the center of the animated series, John Dillermand is John himself, who, on the surface, appears to be a relatively unassuming man. A little, got a great mustache, receding hairline, but concealed underneath his little red and white onesie is something remarkable that even Ron Jeremy would be proud of. An extraordinary long, prehensile penis. The world's biggest, that is capable of impressive feats of strength and dexterity, like firing up the barbecue. Perhaps you may be struggling. This is true, people. This is true. All right? So, perhaps you may be struggling with the process of this information, but Jon is just a normal guy who simply wants to go about his day. But the thing is, his hammer is the size of a Burmese python, and that it's also capable of snake-like movement and has an unruly agenda of its own. In the show, the penis snatches ice cream cones from kids, grills sausages, steals coins from buskers. Indeed, John Dillerman is targeting towards kids, those between the ages of 4 and 8, and airs on the channel that is comparable to PBS Kids. As one might expect, the show, which premiered last weekend, has elicited some vehement responses, and here come the Karens. Oh, as a parent, I am mildly shaken and shocked by the line you are currently using, reads one Facebook comment. I am deeply outraged, says Karen number 2, and think it's so perverse and inappropriate television for young children. Well, Christian Gross, a gender researcher at Roeskilde University, said of the show, it's perpetuating the standard idea of a patriarchal society and normalizing locker room culture that's been used to excuse a lot of bad behavior from men. It's meant to be funny, so it seems harmless, but it's not. And we're reaching and teaching this to our children. Though the program does have its defenders, such as family psychologist Erla Heinzen Hodsted, I hope I got that right, who sees Jon as a caring man who means no harm, he is impulsive and not always in control, who makes mistakes, like little kids do, but crucially, Dillerman always makes it right. He takes responsibility for his actions. When a woman in the show tells him that he should keep his penis in his pants, for instance, he listens, which is nice. He's accountable. He's accountable. He's accountable. That's Captain Shirk's news, by the way. I did not include that one. Thought of the Day happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. Do you think famous people telling their experiences would benefit the paranormal and UFO community? Kevin, depends. Are they being truthful or paid? Or looking to get paid? Good point. God of Thunder, Canadian Joe. It could be seen as both positive and negative. Positive in a sense that since celebrities share their experiences, then your average everyday person wouldn't feel so ashamed about sharing theirs. Negative in that it could be seen as just another way to somehow discredit the phenomena or as some type of psyop. Marty, one of our favorite veterans. Marty, thank you for the clown. Of course it would. In today's world, famous people, especially those in the public, hold in high esteem, can give the subject matter a higher ranking of credibility than the average person. BC77, famous people is a ridiculous way to gauge a person's truthfulness, etc., as obviously that does not make them honest or right. But to answer your question, yes, because so many value the famous people, it would make them easier to hear it from. Joseph, depending on who I think it has been, as either a stunt to get one's name back in the news or taken seriously. Davey, yep, it would help to stigmatize the subject. 13 ballads. Only if the aliens are fans of the old John Wayne movies, UFOs with holovision stagecoach playing in the med lab where abducted earthlings are experimented on. Quite the imagination. Jason, not just famous people, but anyone willing to share their experiences. Having said that, celebrities do a larger platform than most, so it would definitely be a benefit. The Dreamer, it hasn't achieved much or made much of an impact on general public. In the past, John Lennon, Muhammad Ali, Mick Jagger, Kurt Russell, and many more all spoke out about their experiences. Let's see what Peter says. Famous people who share their paranormal UFO experiences will get people listening. The more people listening, the more people telling their experiences would help. Open conversation about the subject. People won't feel like they're going crazy. Let's see who else we got here. Jeff. Clarify, I'm thinking of it in terms of benefiting the credibility of the topic in general, which in turn, yes, it does benefit the niche UFO community, because unless the celeb comes across as a total nut job, it brings more attention to the topic. Right on. Moving on, John. I think so. I enjoy watching celebrity ghost stories and hearing what famous people have encountered. Kira, absolutely, as most people relate to celebrity stories. Rose, absolutely. I think it shows a side of them that they might be afraid to come out and talk about their experiences because they are famous. There's one medium who we've seen who helps famous people understand what's happened to them. Sounds like Patty Negri, by the way. Finally, Eric with a K. We are his fourth favorite show, people. Eric with a K's fourth favorite show. He says, as long as they are true and not made up propaganda to control the minds of the masses. That's why we're number 4 to him right there. We're controlling the minds of the masses. Thank you, Eric with a K, and everyone else taking part in the Thought of the Day. We'll do it all again tomorrow. Thank you to Captain Shirk for a wonderful SOR Newswire, which can be found on our website, and to a wonderful guest in Hollywood director, filmmaker, producer, and soon-to-be author, Christopher Peters, for sharing his lovely stories about his ultra-terrestrial encounters. You know, he was married to Sharon Stone at one point. He was. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight on Spreaker, YouTube, LGAP, Revolution Radio, the Space Travelers Club on our website, Facebook, and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio, even including you, part-time skeptic. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us. Because together, my friends, we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo train has docked for the night. But tomorrow, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night. Good show, people. That's a good show. That one was fun. That one was fun da dun da dun. Fun da dun da dun. Fun da dun da dun. I'll be right back. I just gotta go to the little boy's room. Be right back. Hi, gorgeous Teresa. You look awesome. All right, I am back. Up so I can go that up, drag that over. Be with you guys in a moment. Oh, the cat chaser kind of caught me off guard. Hey, Eric, how you doing, man? Good morning to you. Budgerino, how you doing, buddy? The old Spudgerino. All right. He's over here. And let's go hunting some swear words, shall we? Actually, we don't have to worry about that until third segment. Here first. So for people asking about my dump button, so I don't have to answer it, my dump button is set to 0.09, so that way my lips are matching on YouTube. And we edit the show. Our radio stations that we are currently at will be playing the show tomorrow night. So that's why I'm not too concerned about the entire editing process and it getting out on air. It allows us a lot more flexibility in what we are doing. So you don't need to worry about that. That was some good woo tonight. Solid woo. Hey, hungry burrito. call, Davey. Good call. Right. All right, this is where we got to start the editing process. About here. I just went on MeWe and oh goodness. Bomber puts on the group. What's your opinion for breakfast foods for dinner? As a question. And number two, how often do you listen to the show? Put every fucking night. Oh, that's funny. All right, let's do some editing. So we were at about 8 minutes to go. So here we are. Oh. Let's take a listen.
At its last tether, whoever is left, they want ownership of that connection from God to humanity, to nature, to all life. They want to occupy the space of that consciousness of each life, each person. And they're doing it. They're going to do it through technology. They're going to do it through the vaccines. They're going to have any special, which I don't, but that insignia that they carved in my chest are their symbols, that the triangle with a dash that goes to the right at the tip of the triangle, and those parallel boxes, those represent dimensions, and these angels, they're the physical connection point with all life and God. They're in charge of all dimensions, all space in that area, and they're the spark of life. They are literally that's their job for God, to be that connection point, but also to be the overseers of natural balance in all life. And so what they want is when they showed me that in the night sky, that first couple weeks in that first year, they were saying to me in a way when I didn't know it then, this is how we are going to return. This is what humanity is going to see. You're getting to see this now. And I didn't know what it meant until 3 years later, after all of this teaching, all of this physicality, all of the scars, all of the videos, all of the journaling before any of it happened, and now it's all happening. They're going to return. And you're going to see in the daytime, there are stars all throughout the sky that won't leave. And that's the beginning of God and angels returning to humanity's awareness physically. And at that point, we can either, hopefully before, reach out to them and to each other and to God, however we perceive God, and make that connection. And if you don't, you won't be able to escape it. Period.
I want to ask you.
Yeah, I know.
And, but that's a seriousness of what you're going through. It's your story, but I'm sure there are others as well.
I've not heard. Sure. There's definitely people that we all marbles down. All the fucking marbles down.
There we go.
And I waited that long, and I knew that I was putting all the. When you asked me that question, I waited years because I knew it would totally. I knew that it would totally ruin my business. I would destroy my marriage. I knew that it would destroy my credibility. I knew that it would, and I knew that I was putting all the fucking marbles down. all the fucking marbles. Fucking marbles. Putting all the marbles down. All the fucking marbles down. And I waited all the fucking marbles down. And I waited that long because I was like, didn't want to lose all of that. And I thought, fuck it. And then what happened to me, want to lose all of that. And I thought, fuck it. And then what happened, and I thought, fuck it. And I thought, fuck it. And then what happened,
Hey, there's the $3.
because the money is their God. And there is, and they just did a blue flash right as I said that. And I'm sitting in my garage. They just did a big blue flash when I said that.
The shit.
Just now. Sky. That first couple weeks when I reached up to those stars in the night sky and they descended down to my hands, it was just like, oh shit, this is not. It was just like, oh shit, this is. Like, oh shit, this is not going away. This shit, 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 shit. This is not going away. It's increasing, and it's 24/7, and it's growing, and it's growing, and now it's on. And now I'm in fear to anything. Nothing is off limits.
Yes.
There are no rules that can't be worked around. There are no laws that can't be broken. There's nothing that holds those people back. And I was a little boy experiencing that. And on one end, it was amazing because you go to Disneyland, you don't have to wait a line. You go this, you go that, whatever. It's amazing as a kid, right? But I was a little boy. I didn't understand what the implications of any of that meant. But I never in my life, and also the mentality of those people. And my true mother is not like that, but my dad is, and Barbara is. She's a good person, but they just can't escape it. They see themselves as gods because the money is their God. And there is, and they just did a blue flash right as I said that. And I'm sitting in my garage. They just did a big blue flash when I said that just now.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But I never in my wildest dreams as an adult thought I would see that way of being in the world and that mindset spill out into the subject. I don't know what's the word. The subjugation. No, I never thought I would see that elitist way of being spill out into our world. I know it's there, of course. I know it's there. There's horrible tragedies all the time, but there was a detente in a way. There was a bullshitting of like, hey, there's horrible tragedies all the time, but there was a detente in a way. There was a bullshitting of like, hey, but there was a detente in a way. There was a bull of like, hey, like there's some
beautiful
social
Damn it, I'm good at that. Get rid of that. Doesn't happen often, but at least we have the technology to do it. You know what I'm saying? You can do it. You can do it, Dave. Alright, now we just gotta find that next one. Somewhere in here. I'm hungry. I left the hair au naturel tonight. What do you guys think? Had a shower before the show. Figured, you know what? I don't feel like doing my hair. Alright, so 13. Because you have had positive encounters. There are many out there who have had very negative type encounters that they are dealing with at the same type of timeline that you are. How fortunate do you feel that yours aren't negative?
Knowing them is the greatest love affair of my life. I couldn't, and the word love doesn't even describe gratitude or pale comparisons to knowing them and being in relationship, connected to nature, the way that they've given me that, the way that they've given me the appreciation of all life. I am absolutely weeping at the beauty of nature and them and all life. So I feel, and to be able to be a part of this journey to help destroy darkness into infinity, to help unite people, to stand up and connect, to think what, and by the way, I want everyone to know they're with you 24/7 physically. Nobody is alone. They are around you physically, not here, not there. I'm talking right next to you now, never leaving, always there, and is God. We need to reopen our minds up about God and how we perceive these stories and what we think of them in terms of separation. There is no separation. Everything affects everything. You are connected physically to angels and God, and they are with you, and they are there to be known and to have that relationship with. There is no veil. We go on. We are in full relationship, and we've only been taught this world because the people don't in control. And again, I know this is a real conspiracy theory thing to say. Don't want us to realize how we are physically a part of them and connected and family. So,
okay,
I feel very lucky.
For a lot of it,
I feel very lucky.
But for a lot of experiencers out there, sometimes the phenomena just shuts off. How would you feel if all of a sudden tomorrow you wake up and they're gone?
Yoga, whatever the thing is, they're just like connected because nature is an extension of God. Nature is, they absolutely love nature. They do plasma owls for me. I have it on video. You know, they love owls. You'll hear like an owl sound, and then you'll see a plasma owl fly over your head and disappear right in front of you. Or they'll call real owls night after night to land, fly, and sit next to me, or hawks. Nature's an extension. So my point is that any person who's a spiritual person, even if they're just like mildly like, hey, they love their friends, they love to connect, they love music, they do yoga, whatever the thing is, you know, those people who are connected to their heart, who are connected to wanting to see people prosper, those kinds of people, they're going to know who they are when they return. They're going to know who they are. And it's about making that connection because this is not a story. This is a physical reality coming to fruition. And people are, it's not something they're going to go on their phone. Okay, hashtag, move on to the subject. They're going to jerk you out of your fucking shoe. Oh, sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Sorry. To fruition. And people are, it's not something, this is a physical reality. They're going to jerk you out of your fucking shoe. Oh, fuck. Out of your shoe. Oh, sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Sorry. They're going to jerk you out of your shoes metaphorically.
Correct?
And you're.
That was the last one, correct? Usually I'm pretty good for writing them down. Hi, Eva. Eve. Wally. Hey, veteran surf chair. How you doing, man? Oop, I have an itch on my back. Grab my back scratcher here. Hold on. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. If you don't have a back scratcher within reach, you don't know life and real living. Yeah, we had a gooder tonight, buddy. Lots of good woo. Who do we have on tomorrow? What do we got, Shirky Poo? Jeremiah Fountain. We're talking Bigfoot. Now, this guy's a former MMA fighter who's now looking to fight Bigfoot in the forest. I'm looking forward to this one. This dude's going to kick some serious ass. I can feel it. Picture screwed me right up. Bert. And Bert, you bastard. Remember, 2 6-digit codes now, people. 2 6-digit codes. Boy, did you see Kevin Sorbo and Lucy Lawless? Hercules versus Xena going at it on Twitter? That was funny. He was badass back in the day. He was. Hungry. Not gonna lie. Is there anything you like, Fapster, besides a good cheeseburger, honeydew, and Diet Mountain Dew? Susan Messino, how are you, my beautiful friend? Let's clap for Susan Messino. Love Susan Messino. She's awesome. like it better this way, Dave? What, my hair? Or that I'm hungry? Alright, let's go like this. Remember, 2, 2, 2, 2. 1 there, 1, 5, 2, 6. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, where did those go? Oh, that got scary. And then 3. Those. Oh, it scared me there. Here. All right. Your file. All right. Your first transfer code verification code is, people, 202047. 202047. That's verification code number 1. And number 2 coming up here. $391-619. 391-619. Verify wisely. It's a double verification night, as it will be from now on. Well, at least for the near future. See, I'm too cheap to buy a WeTransfer account, and that you can only transfer to 3 emails at a time. And I have 4 emails now that I have to send the radio show to on WeTransfer. So that's why I have to have 2 windows open. Close that. That. Open. Load this up. $49. 70 people still watching. How y'all doing? Who's new to the subscriber list out there? Anybody? Anybody new to the subscriber list? Just curious. Curious. Anybody really drink 8 cups of water a day? Chris Mo, you seem like a sparkly water type of guy. Corrins is alive. Hello, Corrins. But you're down in Texas. It's always like 100 degrees down there, so I can see where you're drinking more than 8. You've got to replenish that mustache. I bet you got about 3 gallons of water stored in that mustache at any given time. All right, that one's done. Close to being done. That one's almost done. That'd have been done like 8 minutes ago. Is anybody else surprised that NBC News anchor Brian Williams isn't saying, "I was there yesterday"? That one's done. Still going. Hey, oh, look who it is. What is that? Is that a pound? Pound $90.99? Pound $1.99? $1.99 pounds? From Mr. Cowley. jumping into the super chat. Oh, Mr. Cowley. 199 pounds in that. It's for the kit car that Dave wants, as he wants to ride down the road. I'm out. I'm out. Mr. Cowley, how the fuck are you now? I got nothing, man. That's all I got. Oh, Mr. Cowley, I want my kit car now. We're done. Probably time to exit when I start going off like that. But I know you enjoy it, Mr. Cowley. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you to Mr. Cowley. Mr. Cowley, thanks for the super chat show. Cat Chaser, thank you. UFO Garage, Alien Girl, Richard Lewis, I appreciate all of you. Tomorrow night, MMA fighter, trainer, Bigfoot researcher. We have Jeremiah Fountain tomorrow night. Remember to share this show and help us get to that 10 or 15,000 subscribers by May 24th. We're averaging about 10 new a day right now, but I think we got to hit about, I don't know, 50 a day in order to get there. We can do it. We can do it. Share the show. Love you all. We'll see you tomorrow night. Let's finish off the week strong, talking some Bigfoot. Talk to you all tomorrow night. I'm going to bed. I got to be at work in the morning. Good night.